Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Mic check, mic check.
Here real quick. In here.
Hi.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I just heard myself hi.
Yeah, we're good.
But anyways, I think one of the biggest surprises of me in week one was how bad of luck the 49ers had back-to-back years of week one injuries and everything.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
The 49ers, I know we weren't already huge going, like, with the Niners, like, going into the season to begin with, but then I don't think we're big at all on the Niners now after week one. Purdy's out. They're saying he could be back next week for the game against Arizona. That's a maybe. Kittle's
And that's
definitely
like
out.
that's how it goes, right? Like when you get an injury like this, it could last a couple weeks. They're like, oh, we think he'll be back. We don't know. We think,
Yeah, yep. Plus,
But yeah,
plus, you never know with the Niners because, we thought Christian McCaffrey was going to go week one last week, and then he ended up missing almost the entire season. So that was.
yeah. The track record isn't the best
Yeah.
on reporting injuries and being accurate with them.
No, not at all. A couple other things stuck out to me last week. I think we were talking about the Steelers game. Steelers offense was way better than I thought they were going to be week one. Also, a fun fact about that: Aaron Rodgers needs one more touchdown to tie Brett Favre for, I think, what was it, fifth all time? No, for fourth all time in touchdowns. So
That's crazy.
He's about to pass or tie Brett Favre for that today. It looks like. So W. Rogers. The Jets are going to be really interesting. They're playing back to back what I think are really good, strong AFC teams in Pittsburgh and Buffalo. So I want to see if the Jets can really, if they play at Buffalo today, even if they lose, I would really start to move the Jets stock up a little bit and how good or bad that we think they actually are.
Yeah, because they could have won.
It's-
They could have won that game against Pittsburgh. I mean, that
Yeah.
was close. Like, I mean, y'all had to hit like a 55+ yard field
It
goal
was
to win that game.
It was 60 yards. Yep. And it
Yeah.
would have been if you look at like the projections on it, like someone made like a line, and they're saying the ball would have been good from 70. And I was
Damn.
like, oh.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, there are going to be at least two kickers who not only break the current NFL record but hit 70 yarders.
Yeah.
70+ yarders at least this year. It's gonna happen. And I didn't even know this. I was but they have a new rule, or the way they do the special teams footballs, the kicking footballs. You can actually last year or before this year, you could not prep them before game day. Now you can prep them, I think, the day before or
Yep.
something, and that's allowing them to like work in the ball a lot better and to be like kick it further. And I didn't
Yeah.
even know that before I said any of this, but it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. I'm telling y'all right now. Don't be shocked.
I think it is going to happen for sure.
But yeah.
Got a couple questions here already. Also, good morning, everybody. We hope you all had a great week so far and are going to have an amazing Sunday today. Hopefully, your fantasy teams, your bets, and everything else goes good for y'all today.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
We got a couple questions here. We got Matthew Stafford, Michael Penix Jr., or C.J. Stroud. Only reason I consider Stroud is because my opponent has Nico Collins. Okay. Let's look at the matchups for those quarterbacks today. Stafford and the Rams, they play the Titans. So I don't think the Titans have a hateful defense, honestly. I think the Titans are just young on offense with Cam Ward and stuff like that, but I don't think their defense is that bad. But
Yeah, they actually have a really good defensive front.
yeah.
Devontae Sweat is a fucking monster and
Yeah, he is.
could make the Pro Bowl this year. I mean, he had a really good year last year, former
Yeah.
Longhorn. So that's how I know. Pay attention to my boys. So yeah, one of the
former
things that
Longhorn.
hurts, one of the things that hurts the Titans is their defense is pretty solid, but their offense is not. And sometimes when you have an offense that struggles, it can actually like by the fourth quarter when your defense is on the field 75% of the game, like they get tired, right?
Mhm.
So that's something that kind of comes into play. But go ahead, Shrek.
The other matchups is the Texans are playing tomorrow. Actually, there's two Monday night games this week, which I kind of forgot about. Not gonna lie to you. That's
I don't
the
know if I like that or don't because like they kind of overlap. Now, if they
yeah,
didn't, then I think I'd be more okay with it. But sometimes I'm like, man, I guess I just got to put up two. I have to have both on the screen.
yeah. It's the second game starts in an awkward time. That doesn't start till 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that's late.
That's a
That's
very
late.
late game. Like that's. I hope nobody on the East Coast is a Chargers or a Raiders fan because you might be late for work the next day. But I think all three of those quarterbacks are solid quarterbacks.
Ooh.
Obviously, today for like my opinion, I think Penix going against the Vikings defense is worse than the Rams going against the Titans defense. If I say Titans defense choice, I don't know. But and then the Bucks and the Texans, I think the Bucks are pretty solid too this year. I personally like Stafford in that out of that trio of quarterbacks for this week. But what do you think about that one, Swag?
You do make a good point that your opponent has Nico Collins. That is something to consider whenever you're figuring out, who you want as your quarterback. Also, the weather this weekend is so good, with the exception of like one or
Yep.
two games. And it is a little hot. There are some games that are in the mid 90s, which that's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So that something I think fantasy points will be higher this week, just because like we have a really clean slate whenever it comes to the weather. As for which quarterback you should pick, I don't like I don't like the matchups. Out of anyone, I like Stroud's matchup the best. Um, However, Penix has two receivers that are looks like they're gonna play. Both. Oh man, I see him in my head. Mooney and
Drake London.
what's the one? Yeah, London.
Yeah.
Both of them were limited this week.
Yeah.
Um, so if one of them like especially if London tweaks something early on, that could hurt. As for who I would pick, oh man, hold on. Let me go to sleeper. Let me look at this a little further because,
This is a hard decision, honestly.
yeah, all three of these matchups are not like super clean matchups. Let's see. Give me a
Two of
second
these
here.
games are being played inside of a dome as well, and the Rams and the Titans are in Tennessee for Tennessee's first home game of the year, I'm pretty sure. And there is a chance of rain.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where there's a chance of rain,
Yeah,
and that happened here late because
slightly.
I've been checking the weather all week. Let's see. Give me just a second.
All good.
Let's see. Oh, this doesn't have the over under. Oh, let me go here.
I think this is a pretty easy question for the second one too. It says Daniel Jones versus the Broncos or Stafford versus the Titans. I'm definitely Stafford with the Titans compared to Danny Dimes versus the Broncos. And that I just think the Broncos defense is like that good. So I think I would definitely sit Danny this weekend. If in that comparison, this one's a little bit different because we have a little bit more of a wider spread of quarterbacks here to pick from.
In Atlanta. Mm,
It's
I think I would actually go with Penix. Um, Out of all of these, Stafford, I'm worried about his back. Like he's one hit away from just being out from game. And that Titan that has a really low over under, and not that that's like something set in stone. I don't know. They didn't do well against the Texans. There weren't a lot of points scored there. And Stroud, I don't think is too bad against the Bucks. I don't know, man. I feel like this is one of those like all three are probably going to be pretty close in points.
yeah.
Um, that's just a tough one. I think I would go with Penix, but really either of the three, it's really like Oh man, I don't know. That's about as best as I can give you. With looking at it even further, I just not not so sure on who I would want to take here.
Yeah,
Like,
that
I
could.
don't like any of them.
That's kind of a
Like
pick
as
your
far as
poison situation.
yeah, like I hope that you have some good like wide receiver and running back depth. Just because like I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a rough one. And why is this not? There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Yeah, so I'm sorry. That's about as best as I can give you. Usually I like to have a better answer than that. But Penix looked pretty good week one. Um, and then the other two didn't have the strongest performance. Um, what were Stroud's numbers?
Ooh.
He, I know that he did not get the ball to Nico Collins very much. I think they're going to want to change that. Yeah, I like Penix better. And then coin flip if you can't decide. But yeah, for the second question, uh, Daniel Jones not consistent at all.
No.
So had a
Yeah.
great week one. I would not expect that week every week, and we saw that with the Giants. He could pop off for 30 points fantasy football wise,
hmm
and also he could do that and have a shit game and get 30 points. But he also could get you 5 points.
Yep.
Going against the Broncos, don't like it.
Yeah.
Um, I would rather take Stafford against the Titans. Um,
Yep.
However, I think your ceiling is higher with Daniel Jones. So it's one of those things. Do you want to be a little more risky and have a higher ceiling, or do you want to be a little more consistent and have Stafford? Stafford's going to get you about 15 to 20 points,
Yeah.
maybe plus or minus a couple points.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
It's just really hard to go against the Broncos defense. Where is that game being played out again? Are we in? Let's see.
like we're in a dome.
Yeah, they're in the Loud House. All right, that changes up a little bit. I mean, you hear it from a lot of players around the NFL on stuff that Indy is not an easy place to travel to and go in and get a win. Indy fans are very passionate about everything, that's for sure. I think the Colts are gonna play with the Broncos today. I really do. I like watching the
I
Colts
do think it'll
last
be
week.
close.
Yeah,
I
watching the
do think it'll be
Colts
close.
last week, I think it's actually going to be a good game. It's just really hard to pick Daniel Jones because, like you said, like Daniel Jones could very easily be the best quarterback in that entire week for all quarterbacks, but he could also very easily be the worst quarterback and have,
Exactly
you know what I
right. He
mean?
could
So
he
like,
could throw a touchdown for the other team.
yeah,
Like
literally, he could have 3 touchdowns and no picks, or you could have no touchdowns and 3 picks. Like it's so hard to predict what Daniel Jones is going to do. I like his situation much better now that like he's in Indy than what I did like when he was in New York for sure. And I'm
yeah.
happy that they got him out of New York because I've always like I've never like hated Danny Dimes. Dude. Just like, I've always felt bad. I feel like the Giants are kind of like one of those teams that's like cursed team for quarterbacks in like a sense.
Like the
Like the
Browns.
past, yeah, right. Not as bad because like they had Eli before and other stuff like that, like other good quarterbacks. But they haven't had a good quarterback there for a while. So hopefully Jackson Dart can switch the narrative for New York there coming up. But I'm glad he's out of there. But I'm with you there. I think Jones potentially has the higher ceiling, like Swag was saying, just because like he could pop off, but he could also not pop off. So if you look at your projections this week too. Like if you're projected to win by 15 points or 10 points or something like that, maybe you just use Stafford. But if you're in a tight situation where you're projected to lose by 1 point or win by 1 point, maybe you take the risk and go with Daniel Jones there. I personally think I like Stafford just because it's a safer play, I think, overall. But like I said, it could go both ways.
Yeah, I think this is one of those consistency versus ceiling things. I also what's hard to tell week one is so Indy whooped they beat the shit out of the Dolphins. And was that just the Dolphins are bad, or is that the Colts are good? Like, you don't
Yeah.
know which one it is because it's so early on in the season, new season, things change, people at different spots. So it's hard to tell. You ready to go to the next question?
Yeah. I actually really like this next question a lot. So it says, "Welcome back. Got a question. Who will you start at a flex
Yeah, thanks.
position? Hollywood Brown or Sam Laporta?" Um, I,
I got my answer. I know
I
my
do.
answer right away.
I do too. I love Hollywood Brown today personally. Worthy's out. We still don't have Rashid Rice, and Mahomes needs someone to throw the ball to other than Juju Smith-Schuster. So I'm big on Isaiah Pacheco today to get a lot of touches for them, and I'm also really big on Marquise Brown to get an anytime touchdown on DraftKings as well. That's one of my parlays I'm going to be putting in this afternoon/morning.
I mean, look at the volume that he got last week.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown had 10 receptions,
Yep.
like 99 yards. I mean,
That alone.
he's
Yeah.
he is wide receiver one by far there. Juju Smith-Schuster's there, but they don't have anyone else. You got Kelsey. He's not the Kelsey that he has been. I love Hollywood Brown. If he can stay injury free, I expect him to have another huge week,
Yep.
especially against the Eagles defense, who is not as good as they were last year. Like we talked about this week one, they are the lowest paid defense in the
Yep.
league,
Yep.
and on the opposite side, their offense is the highest. So, obviously Mahomes is gonna love that. Now he has not been the Mahomes that he has been. But I mean, just look at his, 10 receptions, 99 yards. I expect them to
Yep.
have to throw the ball a lot more this week. Um, I just think he's going to have a monster week.
I do too. I think he goes for 100 plus receiving yards and a touchdown this week. I'm really big on Hollywood Brown this week too. Like even
He
like
very well.
going into the season too, like he was like one of like my sleepers who I was potentially picking up at like the last round type of thing in the draft, just because like we knew going into the season that Rashid Rice was not going to be there. Boom 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 boom
Mhm.
boom, bada boom boom boom. What was that? Is that a follow? Thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
I forgot that was a
then we
sound.
still have the double notifications. I have no clue how to fix that. It was bothering me last
Okay.
week, but it's all good. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, it's kind of weird because he was kind of slept on. And obviously the Worthy injury did not. I mean, that helped his situation. But a lot of people didn't expect that right off the rip. They will get him back, and at some point. But yeah, he might be the number one fantasy wide receiver this week. Very well
Yes,
could be. He
I
could go
agree.
for 2 touchdowns. That's not absurd with the volume that he's getting and the lack of, other help that he has. So yeah, I definitely would go with Hollywood Brown. I don't even know who does Detroit play. Detroit plays the
Detroit
Bears.
plays,
Yeah,
yeah, their first home
that's
game against Chicago.
and Detroit
Um,
did not look very good last week.
no,
They
like,
looked not like last year.
yeah, remember, I actually picked the Lions to, in my opinion, I think like the Lions are going to have a losing season or they're going to be 9-8. I don't see a high ceiling for the Lions this year. I think people are really realizing that, I by any means, I'm not trashing Dan Campbell. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. So I think the thing that made him a great coach was his coordinators that were there to help him along the way. And I think that's really being shown now, honestly. It's week one. It's really
Week one
hard to judge
overreaction.
it. Yeah, week
Week
one
two
overreaction
overreaction
here, maybe.
Sunday.
But I mean, I was saying this stuff like going into the season though as well. So this
Yeah,
is like
we
something
talked about it.
that Swag and I both fully expected was the Lions to not be anywhere near as good as what they were last season. Exactly. Actually, I think Green Bay is going to run away with that division by the end of the year. I think Green Bay sits a couple of their starters because they look so good. I want to talk
Yeah,
about the
I
Green
think
Bay game as well here
I,
shortly.
I think we had that in our win loss projections, which I've been trying to post on Double Down Sports TikTok all week, and I just have not been able to format it right how I want. So we will have that posted at some point. You ready to move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's do it. Garrett
Garrett
Wilson.
Wilson
Go
or
ahead.
Hampton? That's a
Uh,
good question.
let's see. Garrett Wilson's gonna have a tough matchup today. They're in New York, but they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo's a good team, both sides of the ball. I think they're not as strong on defense. I don't think the Jets have an offense like the Ravens have, so I don't think the Bills are going to get scored on like they did last week because Baltimore just absolutely had their own way with Buffalo's defense there, up until the last quarter. That is, that was an insane game to watch. And then who does Hampton play today? Or Hampton plays
They don't
on
play today. They play
tomorrow, right?
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play against the Raiders.
Oh yeah, it's the game. It doesn't start till 10 o'clock at night. Holy shit. Hmm.
I'll
That
tell you this.
is.
I wasn't surprised that I was surprised that Garrett Wilson with Fields had such a productive day.
Yeah.
Uh, especially with who they were going against, I definitely thought he was going to struggle and maybe have like 4 catches or something and like 30 yards, 40 yards, something like that. Nope. 7 catches, 95 yards, touchdown, high scoring game. He's with his former teammate, throwing to him, so that kind of helps. I think even though with the matchup, I think I like Garrett Wilson here. Although Hampton can have a monster week too,
Hmm.
it's just with I mean I thought he had a tough matchup last week and he killed it.
Yeah.
Um, and there is a little bit of timeshare there with Hampton, and I believe Dobbins. No, not Dobbins. Hampton
Najee.
and
Najee.
your old boy.
Najee.
One eye. Yeah, Najee.
Jeez. Fire
Sorry,
boy.
too soon. There's a timeshare there a little bit, so that could limit Hampton a little bit. So I think I like Garrett Wilson here.
I also agree. Well, like you said, Wilson had a tough matchup last week, and Fields was like threading the ball to Wilson last week, like in some like tight windows too. I was really impressed with Justin Fields last week, like really, really impressed.
Yeah,
Like we know he's
glad I have
like,
him.
yeah, like we know he's a really good athlete. We know he can run the ball. He proved in Pittsburgh that his passing game got better last year, for sure, because we had the Steelers 4-0 at the beginning of the year last year, and he was passing the ball much better. And now they're actually letting Justin Fields like throw the ball, like downfield and everything. And I think he's in a good situation. I think he's in a good offensive situation right now. It wouldn't surprise me if the Jets like played a tight game with the Bills today. I think if the Jets play a tight game with the Bills, we really learn a lot about the Jets and how good they might actually just be this year. Win or lose, because I think the Bills are coming out of that division on top, obviously, by a good bit. But I like Garrett Wilson. I think he has a much higher ceiling this week.
Yeah,
And then,
and the thing is, I liked how Hampton looked. He looked explosive, and it looked like a solid running back. Um, the game script could go in the Chargers' favor, where they could be running the ball a lot. So that's the one thing that makes me a little hesitant. Although I just think that this Bills Jets matchup is going to be a shootout, and you're going to see a lot of offensive stats all around. So that's why I just, and with that tough matchup last week, that kind of proved that right out the gate that those two can put it together. And
mm-hmm,
I undervalued Garrett Wilson this year, and I wish I would have picked him up in
yeah,
other leagues. I do have him in one of my leagues, so I'm glad that. And I also have Fields in one of my leagues, so I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
But
Another
yeah,
thing,
that's what I would go with.
it's not about Garrett Wilson, but another thing about the Jets too is I think a lot of people forget how good Breece Hall actually is too. Like he went a little bit later this year in the NFL draft, like for fantasy wise and stuff like that, which surprised me. Like didn't surprise me at the same time because there's a lot of really good running backs this year. But I mean, I'll say it's about Pittsburgh. We were supposed to have the best, if not one of the best defenses in the entire league. And that was not the case last week whatsoever. He ran all over Pittsburgh's defense. And that's a strong defensive front up there. I mean, we had Derek Harmon out, which is a big miss. He was a number 1 draft pick, but we still had Yair Black in there.
And he was a
And
monster, man, last year.
yeah. I can't wait to see Yair Black and Derek Harmon both in the middle right there. I like Cam Hayward, but he is starting to get a little bit old. I mean, he's still very effective, though. He proved that last year, later in the season for sure, that for his age, that he is so extremely effective up front. So, I mean, props to Breece Hall last week. I think he played a really good game. I think the Jets also coached a really good game against Pittsburgh last week, too.
I think the reason that he went later on this year than previous years is because, his backup, Braylon Allen, looked pretty good last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a little bit of, at least in my mind, I thought it might be more of a timeshare um, than it was. And now Braylon Allen did get a touchdown last week. He had six rushes, only for 9 yards though, so he wasn't overly impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas whereas Hall was. So I think maybe that's what could have played into it. But yeah, I like how Hall looks this year. I was so big on him last year, and I think when he didn't have as great of a year, I think that kind of that hindered me from really pushing for him this year because I
Yeah.
didn't think that they would. I was like, all right, really what changed with the Jets was mainly their quarterback, and I have no clue. I still don't know what happened last year. Like looking back, I'm still so confused. I couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty
That's one of the more
sure.
confusing situations.
I'm pretty sure the Jets had the most amount of penalty yards in the entire NFL last year too, which that alone loses you some games, um, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I know they had a lot of penalties last year. The Jets did. You want to talk about the Thursday night game this way?
Oh yeah, we could talk about that. Poor Eckler, man.
Yeah.
When it happened, I was like, oh, I think I know what that is.
Yep. Non-contact injury. Austin Eckler out for the season, potentially end of his career? Question mark.
Yeah, maybe that's actually a good point. Could be. I don't think it is though. I think he'll still have some miles left because he looks, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Not top prime Eckler, who was, arguably mostly top five running back whenever he was the main man and no timeshare or anything. Whereas now he comes in and for I think it was like the first two possessions he fully played the running back role, and then after that he was more of like a passing down back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where I was watching that situation because the Washington backfield was kind of what was going to happen there, and now that kind of makes it a lot easier to predict who's going to do what there. But Green Bay looked like they look fucking fantastic
Yeah, I think there's a reason that we
all
both
around.
have Green Bay's 12 plus wins this year. Uh, Green Bay is my early overreaction to go straight to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. They're just a really good, complete team. I mean, outside of the Eckler situation, Jaden Reed, it looks like he broke his collarbone, so I think he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken
Dude,
collarbone. I think
those wide
six to
receivers are
eight.
always hurt.
Yeah, they really are. It's a good thing they got Matthew Golden. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
for real, man.
but yeah, also Tucker Kraft had a hell of a game. If you look
He
at
benefited.
the first quarter alone, I thought this game was going to be a blowout because Jordan Love was slinging the ball at Tucker Kraft the first quarter of the game. He played great. He stepped up big when Jaden Reed went down. Romeo Dobbs, I think his stock just went up a lot higher, just simply because, like I said, Jaden Reed is out, and they say 6 to 8 weeks, but realistically, it's a collarbone, and if it's a broken collarbone, that depends on that person's body too. So that could take longer potentially as well. I know he's an athlete. He's probably extremely healthy and everything else like that. So his body's probably going to heal much quicker than the average person that just sits around all the time. But
Especially with all the technology they have
yeah,
for a
exactly.
professional organization.
Yeah, 100%. But that's still you have to think too. When Jaden Reed comes back, is that going to hinder his performance, and or is it going to affect him? Or if he takes another hit, is he going to be in excruciating pain or something like that? So that's a lot to follow. I think that could potentially be more than a 6 to 8 week injury for Jaden Reed right there. Because if you look at the video, it's nothing graphic or anything. It's just a normal tackle. The guy came down on his shoulder. It looked and all the pressure just, kind of just broke his collarbone. I guess from the impact of the ground, the other guy on top of him. But it's a normal, clean hit, play, everything. It just sucks to see that he had to get hurt like that because, like I said, it was a clean play. So, but if y'all have Romeo Dobbs, the upcoming next upcoming couple weeks here, I would definitely have him in a lot more because I think he's going to be a touchdown machine for them.
Also, Kraft, like, it's
Yeah.
very, very obvious that he is going to have an excellent year if he can stay injury free. And I had the Packers as a possible, Super Bowl team before the Parsons trade.
Yeah.
And now with the Parsons, like, yeah, just get out of here. They're definitely my immediate favorite right now with how they're playing and how they look, just from a perspective like that.
Yeah.
Um, I like everything that they're doing. Love looks good. Defense looks good. Other than that injury, they're relatively healthy. Um, yeah, and they could get back. What's his face? Towards the end of the year, who tore his ACL. What is his name? Uh, Watson?
Caleb
Uh,
Watson?
no. What's their other receiver?
Oh, shit.
Uh, I see him. I'll let you know here in just a second. I'll go to the roster. He tore his ACL.
Christian Watson.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they could get him back towards the end of the year or into the playoffs, and that's another big boost just because of how
Yeah.
how much of a threat he is. So, but he's super injury prone. That guy's always
Yeah.
injured.
He is always injured.
Always.
Since he's joined the league, he's always been injured.
Hamstring, knee, like, man.
And then another big thing to take away from this game, I think, is the Commanders as well. Jaden Daniels did not look good that game, really. I don't think he played a very good game. Same with the receiving core. It seemed like Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry were on the same page every single game last year. And this year, this has not been it so far.
It doesn't
McLaurin
help.
he only had 5 receptions for 48 yards. Like he's been getting single digit points the first 2 weeks in fantasy football this week or this year. So it's
Doesn't
something
help
to
when you want to
watch.
trade all off season or off all preseason.
Yeah, yeah,
So you don't get those reps. You don't, you're there, but are you really there?
yeah,
Like, am I getting traded? So, I would look more like how we've seen in previous years with someone like the Bengals, who their offense doesn't get revved up till about week 5. They've had a lot of situations like this where either quarterback's injured or wide receivers holding out or something, and they don't really get going until about week 5.
yeah,
So, don't go trading away. Don't go trading away players yet. I would sit on the situation, and if by week 6 or 7, McLaurin hasn't really improved, then maybe try to get some value out of him. But I think McLaurin will be just fine.
yeah,
And from a fantasy perspective, Daniels and Love had almost identical points, 21 and 20.
yeah.
So even though Love looked better, um, you know, they still fantasy football wise were equally as good.
That's a good point. That's a very good point, actually. Do you want to get into the slate of games today?
Yeah. Let's go down the line until we have any questions. I think that's a good. And then by after the hour goes by, we should have injury updates, and then we can go over
Yep,
those because
yep.
there's not really much weather to go over today. There's 2 games where it's semi might be an issue. One of them is the Dolphins game. You're in Florida, pop up showers, no clue where they're going to be. Could be at the stadium. It could be a completely dry game. That's just one of those where you even if a shower does come through, they won't be playing through the rain because it'll be a thunderstorm. So the field might be slick after, but it shouldn't affect too much. And then the other one is the Titans Rams game where there's supposed to be some rain, but it shouldn't be like a complete washout or anything. That might affect it a little bit. It already has a low over under. I don't think it's gonna hinder the game like too significantly. I don't think it's gonna be a really high scoring game regardless.
Yeah.
Aside from that, you have like a little bit of wind in Philly, and even or at the Chiefs. And that even that isn't gonna affect, like, 10 mile per hour winds nothing for the professional sports game. So excellent weather this week, but let's go down the line.
Real quick, there's news coming out, draft news actually, that the Baltimore Ravens were planning to take Shador
Oh, I heard that.
Sanders,
Yeah, I saw this.
and the reason they didn't take him was because Shador said that was not playing on the same
Fuck
roster as
you.
Lamar Jackson.
He said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
That's what he's. That's
He said, I want a chance, bro.
yeah.
Damn.
What do you think
Okay.
about that?
Um, I mean, I don't blame him for not wanting to play behind Lamar because, I mean, obviously you're going to get zero playing time. That alone tells me that he at least wants to play, like he's still, like, he has a love for the game, he wants to play, and he wants to compete. So I think that's a good part about it. But, I mean, at the same time, like, I think it's hard to be picky about which team you're actually going to be drafted to. You know what I mean? Because, like,
Yeah.
it's your lifelong dream to get in the NFL and be a quarterback and everything like that, and then being picky about the team that you're, about to get picked by and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Now he has to play for the Browns, so I don't know. That's like pick your poison. You either play behind Lamar the whole entire rest of your career, and maybe fill in whenever he gets hurt and stuff like that. Maybe because they have Cooper Rush there as well, or you go to Cleveland and you just. Your career just is over. So,
Yeah. On one hand, I can see him saying, in a way, I'm betting on myself, and I want to get playing time, and I think I'm good enough for playing time. Obviously, you're probably not going to beat out Lamar Jackson uh,
no.
in a quarterback battle. He's top 3 quarterback in the league. So I want to go somewhere where I have a chance to play and play quickly. And I think that's more or less what he did. And I don't know, and I don't know how I see it, because on one end, I'm like, all right, whenever I played football and whenever I do something, I try to have good character, and I try to work with the people around me and work hard and make it that way. On the other hand, you know, you kind of know you're going into a situation that's not very good for you, but anything could happen. Lamar could get injured. You could win a Super Bowl by going to that team.
Yep.
It really depends on, and I think right now his focus is not, I want to win a Super. I mean, obviously he wants to win a Super Bowl, but first he wants to have the starting job.
Yep.
That's in his mindset. That's, I think, how he sees it. And so I think that's more or less why we saw what we did from him, why he slid so far down the draft. So
Yeah. Agreed.
Niners kicker going to Chicago.
I saw that. Also, another cool little fun fact is Justin Jefferson is 26 years old and 90 days, or 26 years and 90 days old today. His first catch tonight versus the Falcons, he'll tie Larry Fitzgerald as the youngest player in NFL history to reach 500 career receptions. And Larry Fitzgerald also did it when he was 26 years and 90 days old as well.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of a
what
crazy
a
stat. The exact same age, like age down to like the day.
Yeah, how crazy is that to like be compared to Larry Fitzgerald like that?
Yeah,
Like, what an
seriously though.
honor of a stat, you know?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get a drink real quick.
Yep, sounds good. Former Pitt legend Larry Fitzgerald. I think we're gonna go ahead and get started in talking about the week 2 matchups today. We're just gonna go down the list on DraftKings if y'all would like to follow along on that as well. We're gonna start off with the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets today. Obviously, we've talked about the Jets a good bit this morning and how much they surprised us last weekend going against a good Pittsburgh defense, or what was said to be a good Pittsburgh defense, which I still think will be. I think our defense needs to get more reps. So we'll see how that works out for Pittsburgh then. We'll get to that. But the Jets look good. Garrett Wilson looked really good. He was, getting covered by Ramsey and Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. all day. So all 3 great corners he was getting covered by all day. And he still found a way to make it happen. Justin Fields makes some tight throws. The Jets defense was not bad at all. Same with the Bills, though. So the Bills gave up a lot of points, but they were arguably playing the best team in the entire NFL or AFC, depending how you want to look at it right there. And Baltimore, the Ravens should have won that game week 1. The Bills just came back, and the Ravens kind of blew it with that Derrick Henry fumble, which was very unfortunate. I'm a Steelers fan, but I do like Derrick Henry. I must say he's very fun to watch. He's just a beast. He's on another level than anybody else in the league as far as running backs go. He's just such a tough ass and a hard runner. But Josh Allen, we found out why, he got MVP again last year. He just gave us a little reminder of why he was an MVP again. We clearly see that why. He has that clutch gene in him, and Lamar has the opposite of the clutch gene in it. I don't think it's Lamar's fault, though, to be honest. Lamar's team likes to fold on him, and there's situations like that, like even going back last year to the playoffs. So I like Buffalo to win this game. I don't know if I like the spread. Buffalo -6.5. So we're pretty much betting on Buffalo to win by a full touchdown and extra point right here. I might go with Buffalo like money line because it's -298. Total points over under for the total over under for points is 47.5. I could see that also going over. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. But at the end of the day, I think Buffalo's just one of those elite teams in the NFL. I think they're going to be really hard to beat. But I think the Jets play them in a close game, that's for sure. The Jets could even possibly win this, but yeah. Maybe. What was that?
I got the Jets.
Yeah.
I got the Jets. I got them winning at home. That's why. If it were at the Bills, I would be. I think the Bills would win, but it'd be close. With how the Jets looked last week, I think, I don't know. Now, if the Jets come out and they don't play very well on offense, I don't think this will be as good of a game as. But I think the Jets, if they come out and their offense looks good, I think this will be an absolute shootout. Lots of offensive stats here, like down the board. Coleman had a pop-off week last week.
Yeah, he did.
8 receptions, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Looks pretty damn good. I just think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think this could be in like the 60s as the over/under. This would be one of those that I'm pretty sure the over/under is going to be. I'd go over. Like
I would
this is
go
one of
over.
those where I feel very confident about. With good weather, like
Yeah.
I definitely would take the Jets on the spread though. Like, and I even think they can win this game.
Yeah.
So.
I would say New York +6.5 because I still think Buffalo's going to win today, personally. But I see why you say that. It is going to be a really good game. This could be like the week or the week 2 like game of like the year or something like that. So if you know what I mean, though, the best game of week 2.
Yeah. Words, Shrek.
Words are hard. Sorry, so early. But yeah, this could be like the best game of the week, really. So that's definitely a game I will be watching on my second monitor when the Steelers game is on. That's for sure. But I got the Jets. Swag's got I got the Bills. Swag's got the Jets. Why can't I talk right now?
Words and math is hard.
It is hard. All right, next we got Swag's Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are better than what we gave them credit this year. Honestly, especially you, Swag. I think you were pretty low in the Cowboys after that Parsons trade, but Dak was out there slinging that shit, dude.
It's the season started off weird with automatic ejection before the first offensive play. That was wild. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a season start like how it did.
Yeah, no.
And then we looked good. Dak looked absolutely fantastic. And if it weren't for feet like hands, Lamb, I don't know where that came from because he's been absolutely amazing when it comes to catching the ball. Like, he'll make the difficult catches, and he's very consistent. And I don't know. I feel like we should have won that game. I feel like we outplayed Philly.
Yeah.
We made the right play calls. We were in the right place, right throws, right time. Drop the ball. Just don't execute. That's simply what it came down to. And I feel like we outplayed them. We should have won that game, actually, against Philly. I think we win this game today. The Giants' defense is better than it has been. Don't sleep on them this year. I was talking about that last week. They have a pretty good defense. Now, obviously, injuries will change that. But I do like the Cowboys here. Their offense looks pretty good. We got the run game going. Now, obviously, Philly didn't have their beast of a run stopper out there. But like, I saw multiple holes right away. Like our blocking looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Dak looked good. Our defense was, it's hard to stop. Other than Hurts, had a solid defensive game. Um, like Brown was nowhere to be found. Like I couldn't believe how that might be his like worst week that I've ever seen. You didn't hear his name called. Um, I do like the Cowboys here. Where it is? I'm trying to see what. Here we go. This is what I want to see.
Where?
Oh no, that's. How do I get to week? There it is. What?
I love it. I love that we don't have George Pickens anymore, dude. I love watching the plays. There's the stupid stuff he does.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think he's gonna, as the season goes on, he's gonna be utilized more. But
straight up clothesline that man. I just.
he just threw him down, man. I don't even. That was a holding. What are you talking about?
I think I'm gonna be completely honest. I think the CTE is taking over George Pickens' brain, and I think he's the next Antonio Brown. He's the next crash out of the NFL. I'm so happy we got that cancer off of our team, the Steelers. It's just, don't get me wrong. When he's on, and when he's having a good game, it's really hard to stop him. Like he's one of the best playmaking wide receivers in the NFL, I'd say, because as a Pittsburgh fan, I've seen this man make some crazy one-hand catches, body twist, turn, two-tap, toes of a centimeter between his toes in the line. Like he can make some really good plays. Don't get me wrong, but he just concerns me for the well-being of the locker room and stuff like that of Dallas and everything too.
He's so volatile, right?
Yeah.
He could just explode at any minute and just wreck your culture.
Yeah, literally, which is insane that one player can do that, but it's very true. I personally like the Cowboys today to win this game. I agree with what you said. The Giants defense is definitely slept on. That's for sure. Honestly, I think the Giants kind of tanked these next couple games, not on purpose or anything, but I think they tanked these next couple games, and I also started to think that we're going to start seeing Jackson Dart in between maybe week 4 to 6, something like that.
I am with you. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson's it. I think his career is pretty much done. He didn't play hateful in Pittsburgh last year, which is why he got another opportunity in New York. But I think he's getting old and it's starting to catch up to him a little bit. He can't move like he used to move and stuff. And
he played about as good as he was paid. The veteran minimum.
Yeah.
That's about what you got out of him in Pittsburgh. Good enough to just get by, but he's not gonna. He will not win you the games. I think he's been on his downhill spiral. When he got paid in Seattle, I think that's whenever he was no longer him.
Yeah.
He just has not been the same. He does not look the same. At Denver, at Pittsburgh, now here, I just think. It's only a matter of time before he's just replaced, and I don't think it's too many weeks down the road too. I think you're right. I think the Giants now maybe they come out in shock. That's perfectly possible. Not absurd to say. He's not going to take the Giants to the playoffs.
No way. Nope.
Yeah. Mags, thoughts on my team: Mayfield, Barkley, Chase Brown, McConkey, Sutton, Hollywood Brown, Javonte Williams, Rams defense, Aubrey kicker. Fantastic team.
Yeah, you're stacked, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, huge on Mayfield. Barkley looks good. Chase Brown's going to be a top 5 running back. McConkey could be a top 5 wide receiver. Sutton could be a top 5 receiver. Hollywood Brown is going to be a top 5 receiver the first 6 weeks to 8 weeks of the season.
Yep.
Javonte Williams looks great with the Cowboys as running back 1. Rams defense, I can't say too much on that yet.
Well, the
They
Rams
held the Texans pretty good,
and they
and
play
then
the
he
Titans
got
today.
Aubrey as a kicker. He's gonna kick a 70-yarder this year.
Yeah, and I really like the Rams defense this week specifically because they play Cam Ward and the Titans. So I think Cam Ward actually did a good job of taking care of the ball for the most part last week as for his first game in the NFL. But then again, they're going to make some mistakes as a rookie and everything, and there's some vets on the Rams defense who are going to take advantage of that, I think, today. So I think you can look
Oh,
forward to.
you absolutely know that. They're going to be playing up. They're going to
Oh,
load the
yeah.
box, make them throw. Like,
Yep.
that's what I would do.
Yep.
Make that rookie beat you.
Yep.
That's what I like about the Rams. Their coaching and the way they play, they actually game script like probably one of the best out of any team.
I love
Like,
Sean McVay.
yeah, he takes advantage of every little thing he can, and I just respect the hell out of it coming from like I feel like I have a football mind, um, and so real recognize real. So
Yeah, I've always loved Sean McVay. I think he does such a good time or such a good job with the time he has with players, like new, old, everything like that. He is a really good coach. He's really good at game planning. He might be the best coach in the NFL when it comes to game planning against other teams. Even I would go as far as saying that. Like I've always loved McVay. He always gives his team a chance, no matter how good or how bad they are. So I'm huge on him. So Rams defense. I like your team a lot. I think we both are picking the Cowboys over the Giants. The spread is -4.5. I like the Cowboys to cover that spread.
I got the Cowboys by a tutty.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys win this by about a touchdown. Yeah. Over under for points is 44.5. I might steer clear of that this game. I don't think the Giants are going to put up many points this week, honestly. But we'll see about that. So I would probably go under if anything for that, but I would probably steer clear of that because
Yeah, I'm not touching the over under.
Yeah. Next, I don't know why this is the way it is. I'm not going to lie to you. The Browns are +12.5 underdogs against the Ravens. Like I know the Browns aren't good, but the Browns also played a very close game against Cincinnati week 1. I know Cincinnati takes a little bit to get started. They're like a old like crank engine. They gotta crank that thing and get it going first before they can actually do anything. But this is also a lot of people don't realize that this is an AFC North matchup. Anything can happen inside the AFC North. I don't give a shit if the Steelers are undefeated and the Browns have 0 wins in the season, or the Ravens or the Bengals or anybody. AFC North is AFC North. It's going to be tight, hard football. And this is I love the Browns plus 12.5
absolutely agree.
here. Like AFC North is like that's some hard knock shit right there. Like
I was talking to one of my coworkers about this exact same thing, about how these divisional games in this particular division is just different.
Yep.
And I called it last week. I said Joe Flacco could have 300 yards, and what did he end up with? Like 292? Like, come on, like. Don't sleep on the Browns as far as like when it goes to the over or not the over under the spread on this game, like 12.5. Like what? That is absolutely wild, especially when they played Cincinnati as good as they did.
Yeah.
Like, and the Ravens defense, for whatever reason, I like. Man, sometimes I don't know what to say. They can look so good just to not.
Yeah.
And the Browns defense is really good.
Yeah.
I think this game's going to be way closer than now. Obviously, it could be a blowout. Like I could see that. It just with Joe Flacco going against his former team, and he still has gas in the tank. He can throw for 300 yards. Watch out.
Yeah.
There could be an upset here. Like the Browns could win this game.
Yeah, legitimately, the Browns could win this game. It really comes down to what you're saying. If Flacco plays good, I think the Browns are stay in this game fairly closely. He's going back to Baltimore. Obviously, like I feel like the people of Baltimore love Joe Flacco. Like there's no like hate there between them. I don't think at all.
Oh yeah, not at all.
So I think that makes it a little bit easier for Flacco to go in there and do what he's going to do.
Not as hostile as an environment.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he ran out and like they started cheering for him or stuff. Like it just he probably will retire a Raven. He'll probably go in the Ravens Hall of Fame. He might go in the Hall of Fame, depending. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about that, but he's a Super Bowl winner, so we gotta acknowledge that at least. But yeah, I think this is a lot closer than plus 12.5. I wouldn't bet anything on this game whatsoever besides Browns plus 12.5. I don't like the over under 45.5. Money line, Ravens are minus 850. So if you want to get a penny or two, maybe, but that's just that's ridiculous. I mean, I have Baltimore winning this game. I don't think Baltimore is going to drop back-to-back games, especially after they lost the way they lost in Week 1. I think they're probably pretty pissed after they made it through that game. And you're saying about Baltimore's defense, the same thing with, like, we were talking about Pittsburgh's defense, right? Like, you're supposed to be really good this year, right? It's like the Ravens are supposed to have the best secondary in all of football, as far as I'm concerned. They have a great secondary on paper. Like, those names are great. I think Jaire Alexander played like shit in Week 1 for them. I don't know what happened to Jaire Alexander. He did not play good. They got Starks now and everything. They have the names, they have the talent. I think Baltimore just needs to get it together because they do have a disgusting secondary. It could be very, very good. I like Baltimore to win this game, but like we were saying, it's going to be a lot closer than what I think the spread has this game at. But I like Baltimore to win this game, but I like Cleveland to cover the spread here.
Yeah, by the way, we Double Down Sports is doing a pick'em league.
Yep.
You're more than welcome to join. Even this, even week 2, week 3, week 4. Can it be found in our Discord, Shrek?
It should be. Is it in there? I think I sent it in there.
Let me look real quick. But yeah, so we're doing that. And there's actually there's going to be we haven't 100% confirmed that there will be a monetary prize. If it is, it'll be like $5 to $20, something like that. But the winner, if they want, will get to join Double Down Sports Week 17, which is most fantasy football's championship week. So nothing crazy, but something you might want to check out, and a little bit of fun. Oh yeah, it is in there. It is in there. Okay. And I'm going to invite people. Edit link. I'm going to pin this link for the Discord, so anyone who wants to join can. Discord.
Just give me 1 second real quick then, guys. I'm trying to get my DraftKings logged in here.
Let me see if I can pin that. Yeah, there we go. All right, there's a pinned Discord message. So yeah, the reason I talk about that is because we're kind of picking the games anyway. One thing I like, a couple things to note here about this game is Judkins is getting his first NFL action. He did not play week 1. He had some off-season issues that got resolved. So it'll be interesting to see. He will be on a snap count, obviously, but with how Jerome Ford played, it looks like he has a pretty good shot at coming in there and at least getting some time. Dylan Sampson actually surprised me. Came out of fucking nowhere for me.
Yep.
But it looks like maybe that could be one of those things where like Dylan Sampson takes a lot of the third down passing plays, and maybe Judkins takes the rest. I don't know. I do know it looks like Ford's gonna kind of be. I don't see Ford unless there's an injury. I don't see him coming in and taking over a whole bunch of the carries and all that going into continuing into the season. Now maybe week 2, maybe week 3 he gets a decent amount, but I think as the season goes on, you're going to see Ford kind of pushed out of that backfield room where he won't get much playing time. And also, what surprised me was how Njoku wasn't the tight end that was used. It was Fannin. Fannin had the week there. That kind of came out of nowhere too. He was on my radar a little bit, but I didn't expect that. Njoku's arguably top 5 tight end in the league. Some to most weeks. Yeah. Especially towards the end of last year, he was on fire, and that was surprising. So a couple of things to note there for fantasy perspective. Couple guys to watch, especially um, watch Fennon because maybe he just takes over that role and he could be someone on the waiver wire who you could pick up because he wasn't a well-known name going into the tight end situation.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I will be back in 1 second. I'm gonna go get some water real quick.
Okay, let's see who's the next on this. All right, we got next is Seattle at Pittsburgh. Oh, we're gonna talk. Shark just laughed and we're talking about his team. Fuck 'em. So we have the Seahawks at Pittsburgh. 3.5 point spread, over under of 40.5. Oh wait, I think we had a question. Hold on. I can talk about that. Should I start Pacheco or Waddle for the flex spot? Fuck. I don't know what to think about Miami right now. I am fading all their players, other than A-Chain. I don't know what else to think. Just because A-Chain can also, if Miami happens to get in a passing, like they're just down by 14 early on, he can still provide a lot of fantasy value because of his receiving possibilities. If you're in a PPR league, um, so I don't Waddle. I just not too big on the receivers there. Pacheco, the Chiefs are playing. I was answering the question.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are playing.
The Eagles.
Where are they? The Eagles,
Yeah.
and that defense is not as good as they previously have been. Although Pacheco does have more of a timeshare than I thought. I thought he was going to come out and be the absolute dominant 3-down running back, full game type deal. And he wasn't really necessarily. He had a little bit of timeshare there. But so I would take Pacheco. Just because mainly I'm more fading Waddle, but I think you're higher on him this week, right, Shrek?
Yeah, I was pretty high on anything Chiefs offense that we can actually squeeze in this week, right? Because Mahomes has to get the ball out to somebody. So obviously in the receiving end, we've liked Hollywood Brown today. On the rushing end, Pacheco is gonna have to catch some balls out of the backfield today as well. He's gonna be used as I can see the Chiefs using some screen passes to Pacheco and stuff like that today. It's because of they're hurt right now. They're beat up. As far as receivers go and stuff, they're missing their two best receivers, so they're gonna have to run the ball. Whether that means Kareem Hunt also gets a couple more touches today as well, that wouldn't surprise me because of what you said. But I think Pacheco at the same time is gonna have a good week this week. He didn't play bad last week either. He didn't have the carries I thought he was gonna have because they were very pass heavy for week one. But the Chiefs can't be very pass heavy. I feel like this week, they can try, but they're gonna have to run the ball and. It's going to suck because they have Jalen Carter up front now for Philly, and he's probably pissed that he didn't get to play week one. So I'm sure he's going to have a vengeance and want to tear up the the O-line of Kansas City today. But also what you said, I'm not very big on Miami right now. Tua looked horrible last week.
The whole offense did
Horrible. Yeah, A-Chain's fine. I don't think A-Chain's anywhere even close to the problem. I just think he's in a bad team right now. Honestly,
he's gonna get volume no matter what the script is. If they're up by a lot, he's running the ball. If they're down by a lot, he's getting reception. So that's the one thing that benefits A-Chain, and he doesn't have really too much of a. There's no competition there for that running back spot. Whereas Pacheco and Kareem Hunt had almost the exact same stat line last week.
Yeah, I'm looking
at it right now.
Almost
the exact same. 5 carries, or 5 carries each, 25 yards, 16 yards, 2 receptions for 3 yards, 2 receptions for 10 yards, 3 targets, 3 targets. No, almost the exact same stat line. So that's the one thing that worries me about Pacheco. I do think he won't have as bad of a stat line. I think the Chargers defense is better than the Eagles defense, and we've talked about this before. Eagles defense is the least paid defense in the league. They have a lot of younger players, and when you get a lot of younger players, typically not as disciplined, typically make more mistakes. And I think Mahomes can take advantage of that. So,
I would go
yeah.
with Pacheco personally.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like until Miami shows me something. Right now, I'm super low on Miami with everything
Yeah.
other than A Chain. Tight
Yeah.
end position, receivers, quarterback. It doesn't matter other than A Chain. A Chain I think can still have a good year, which is why I think he's a very good pick. No matter pretty much wherever you picked him,
Yeah.
if you got a value pick out of him, great because he is. I think he can still be a top 10 running back in the league, no matter how Miami performs, no matter what the quarterback
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah, I think he proved that last year too. Whenever Miami was pretty bad going through the stuff they're going through with all their quarterback situation,
Ooh.
Etienne still played pretty decent, I think. We got another
This,
question though.
this,
We got Garrett Wilson or Ladd
yeah,
McConkey this week,
this is a good one.
and then
This is a good
Chuba
one.
were one of the other ones. I'm not.
So I like this question because I like all three of them.
Yeah,
So like we had a question earlier. It was a quarterback question, and I was like, I don't like it either. I don't like all three of these. Whereas this one's the opposite, where like I like all three. I think all three are gonna have a great week. But go
yeah.
ahead. I'll let you take over, Shrek.
I just want to point out that Chuba is playing the Cardinals this week. I know we got McConkey going up against the Raiders, and then we have Garrett Wilson going up against the Bills. We talked about Garrett Wilson earlier. He played amazing. Him and Justin Fields got a good connection already, and that was week one against a good Steelers defense who had Joey Porter Jr., Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Slay on him all day, and they still got the ball to him. So I'm definitely going with Wilson today. I'm not talking bad on McConkey. It's just until I see otherwise right now. It seemed like Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson might have been like the best quarterback, like 1-2 duo, like quarterback receiver duo in the league week one. They just played so good. Like I'm still like shook. Like I'm shook, bro, and how good the Jets played in week one because I was not expecting that at all, and I didn't think I'd be picking the Jets to play a close game with the Bills today. So definitely Wilson, and then as far as the other one goes, I think McConkey and Chuba are both going to be really good picks this week as well. Man, McConkey, if you have to stay up extra late to watch him play, but it's that second pick I think could go either way. Personally, I would probably pick McConkey, I guess. I think going with two receivers there is probably what I would go with. But what do you think about that, Swag?
So I agree with absolutely everything you said. Garrett Wilson and Fields looked like they were in midseason form. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
did not look like week one. And in fact, Boone, I, I'm with you. I probably would have sat Wilson too if I had other options that were better.
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't, the Jets last year really let me down. I've been a fan of Fields, especially from a fantasy perspective, and I didn't like when they took him out when he played for Pittsburgh, and I'm kind of glad that was like week one, like revenge game almost.
Yeah.
Um, I'm now huge on Wilson, and I'm glad I picked him up in at least one of my leagues. I think he's an absolute start no matter what because you saw possibly one of the top defenses, and he killed it, like absolutely killed it. And then
Yeah.
for McConkey, the only hiccup with him is really that there's a lot of mouths to feed there. Um, you know, they have three like wide receiver ones almost, right?
Yeah.
Um, like
Between McConkey and Quentin Johnson, and then they have Keenan Allen again.
and
It's hard to tell who's going to get the ball there.
yeah, exactly. And last week, all three did well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anyone put a dud. Um, I don't think Johnson will have that kind of volume and week every week. I think McConkey's very consistent, and Keenan Allen is likely going to get hurt at some point. So don't. I
Is
wouldn't go out
is he
and be
questionable
too
yet?
huge. Yeah, I know, right? Is it questionable yet? Oh, that's good.
It's
But
so
we know it's
true.
going to happen. He's injury prone. But so that's the only thing with McConkey is a lot of mouths to feed there. Also, if the Chargers get up early, you could see Hampton pop off.
Mm-hmm.
They could go to the run game heavily, and that could limit your points there. Um, and the only hiccup with Chuba is if that offense struggles, they go to the passing game, and not that he can't handle, some passes. I could just see it where Carolina is throwing a lot to the receivers and stuff, trying to get the ball downfield. All
Mm-hmm.
three, I think, are good. I would go with Wilson for sure. And
Yep.
then, honestly, I really don't think McConkey or Chuba is bad. I think both
Yeah.
um,
I,
is a awesome flex to have. Like, if that's your
yeah.
flex, great. Like, I'm happy for you. That sounds like a great week for me. As far as who I would actually choose, oh, I don't know.
I
Uh,
think, like I said, I personally would go with two receivers here, and another reason too. All right, I'll pull this up real quick on the stream. Oh, hold up 1 second. Let me pull this up from the last game.
yeah, I'm looking at like the over under and stuff or
So
total points.
this is my thing too. Like they all three of those receivers for the Chargers had good weeks last week, right? Now I'm not gonna like be like superstitious or anything like that, right? But McConkey didn't get a touchdown last week, and those other two did get a touchdown last week. I think McConkey's kind of due for a touchdown after as well as what he played last week. I also think Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback. He spreads the ball really, really well, which I think is really good value for all three of these receivers, just because of how good he is at spreading the ball. Like if he can be rolling right and still throw left and stuff like that. For example, he's a strong arm. I think he makes really good decisions too. I love him and Harbaugh's connection over the years. I think they've gotten stronger. And I'm pretty big on the Chargers this year, so I gotta pick McConkey. I feel like here. Because we also know the possibility of Keenan Allen, could be questionable at any second. So wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a hammy or something like that along the way.
Look, looks like you talked Boone into it already. I'm going with Lad.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, yeah. KBJ, we see your question. We're getting to it. And in fact, you're next. We're just trying to fully answer Boone's question. But May or Herbert?
I'm not big on the Patriots at all. I'm being
See,
honest with you.
I'm opposite of you.
I I think I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I love that he's with the Patriots now. It's gonna take him more
What's up,
than
Punchy?
1 year, I think, to get them going though. I really like. I don't know. I just really like Justin Herbert. Like after watching him play Week 1, I think I was like pretty set and locked in about how good the Chargers could actually be this year. I love Justin Herbert this week. I think he's gonna kick ass, honestly. But at the same time, who are the Patriots playing? I think they got a decent matchup this week. The Patriots play at the
The Dolphins.
Okay.
The thing about this Dolphins game is we have no clue if it's going to rain or not. It could get suspended for a period of time because you could have like last week a thunderstorm roll through. It's Miami weather.
They're calling for one
Um,
today too.
yeah, and it could be a pop up shower that goes right over the stadium. It could be completely dry. May did not have a bad week last week. He had 17 fantasy points, depending on your scoring. Typical scoring it would be around 17 points. He had 287 yards, a touchdown, interception. He didn't look bad, and I like him this year to improve on his stats from last year. However, Herbert looked like an MVP candidate last
Yeah.
week. He absolutely balled out. And they're playing the Raiders this week. Give me Herbert. I like Herbert. I would think Herbert could outscore May by 10 points. Like that's what you're looking at. And Herbert can be pretty consistent, whereas May sometimes, he's still young. He could have a really good game, could have a not so good game. So yeah, that's
I
give me Herbert for sure here. Like
yeah.
now, May could have more points. Don't sit here and say, "Oh, Swag said Herbert's gonna have more points," and May ended up having. I'm just like taking all the variables here. Herbert looked absolutely great last week. They're very healthy. They looked like a really good team. They beat the Chiefs, who, I mean, there you go. and looked absolutely perfect doing it. Their team looked
Mm-hmm.
great. Give me Herbert for sure, hands down.
Yeah.
No debate here. I don't know what the
Love you,
I don't know what the
Punchy.
fuck anyone is talking about, but I'm here for moral support, boys. Thank you, Punchy. Much appreciated. Also Ingram or Strange. Oh, okay. That's a little bit deeper of a
Yeah,
question.
that is pretty deep, actually.
I do like Strange today. Because look at the over under for that game. I mean, almost 50 points. That's pretty high. I think that's the highest on
Mm-hmm.
the slate, actually. Um,
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's the highest on the slate for sure. And I think it's going to be a shootout. He had 4 receptions for 59 yards last week, and I expect him to do either the same or even better this week. Um, and then Ingram, who do they play? Let me see.
yeah, Strange is let's see, he's minus 102 for 40 plus receiving yards. His average is 59. I mean, obviously it's based off his first game. I don't know. It's That's actually a pretty damn deep question. I'm not gonna lie. That could really go either way. Um, I think
Mm,
I personally like Strange this week. I think also just because they're going up Cincinnati's defense, and Cincinnati's defense I don't think scares anybody. Um,
Now, we do like Bo.
yes, we love Bo.
Um,
We do love
and,
Bo.
and and I just don't know what to think of the Colts yet because that's who they're playing. It's Denver versus
Yeah,
Colts. I'm assuming you are talking about Evan Ingram. Just if I'm incorrect, just let me know. Um, so I don't know um, how to judge the Colts at this point. I don't know if they're good, if they're bad, if Miami was just dog shit, or if the Colts are actually good. Um, Now Ingram is a weapon. We've
hmm
seen in former years he has been a weapon. He didn't have the best week last week. They also were going against a decent defense. The Titans' defense is pretty good.
hmm
Um, he only had 5 points. There's a lot of mouths to feed over there in Denver,
yeah,
but we
there
do like
is.
Bo, so he could pop off. I'm not saying he couldn't. It looks like Strange is more has a easier way because just with the volume
Yeah,
that even though there's a lot of mouths to feed over there too, there's a lot of volume there, a lot of offense, it's going to be a high scoring game. You got 49 and a half as the over under. Um, and on top of that, it's 3.5 point spread, so it looks to be a close game. There's probably going to be a lot of like back and forth, or a team is down and they're just pass after pass after pass. So give me Strange.
okay. Yeah, I think I'm feeling the same way. Like I said, I think he just has a better fantasy matchup this week going against Cincinnati. Like I said, Cincinnati's defense doesn't really scare anybody. It wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville actually went out and they beat the Bengals today as a whole. I'm not sold on the Bengals yet. I mean, obviously their offense is disgusting and a lot of firepower, but Jamar Chase didn't do anything in Week 1. So going against the Bengals defense, I'm with you. I like Stranger. The
uh,
44 play of the
the
day.
44 player. I don't even know what to make of that. How did you come up with that? But welcome in, chicken tenders. We much appreciate a follow. We will happily answer. Is this a question? Hold on.
No,
Can't tell
no,
what this
no,
is.
no.
It looks
Uh,
like a bet.
yeah, just a
Oh
parlay.
yeah. It's a parlay. Okay. The farty parlay of the day. I don't know. All right, we got Joe Burrow, two plus TDs,
Like
Javonte
it.
Williams anytime touchdown, Kenneth Walker. I was like
Yeah.
Kenneth Williams,
Yeah.
3 plus receptions, Kyron Williams over 60 plus yards. What you got here, Shrek?
I like it. I definitely like the first two more than anything. I like Joe Burrow for Joe Breezy 2 plus tutties. Javante Williams looked really good last week. I'm not gonna lie. he was one of the running backs that, like, going into this year that, like, I was like, like, he might get passed up. Like, I don't know. But no, Javonte Williams looked really good. I like his chances to get a touchdown today. Kenneth Walker, 3+ receptions. He's a good receiving back. So I like him. He is playing Pittsburgh, so I can see him having to catch a couple of passes today. I think Pittsburgh's defense last week versus what you're going to see this week is going to be two different defenses. Up front, Pittsburgh's going to be there this week. I'm pretty sure we have Derek Harmon back, I think. So he's going to be hard to run. So Kenneth Walker is going to have to catch a couple passes out of the backfield, that's for sure. And then I like the Kyron Williams 60+ yards rushing today too, especially if there being a slight chance of rain in that game today. If there is a chance of rain, Kyron's going to be running the ball more. So I like that parlay a lot, actually. I'm not going to lie.
I love the first two parts of this parlay. The first two. The second two worry me, and here's why. So I don't know if a lot of people really watched the Seattle game, but Kenneth Walker actually got outsnapped
By Charbonnet.
by Charbonnet, which was absolutely shocking to me from the standpoint of I think Kenneth Walker is very talented, and so is Charbonnet. And I think when Walker got injured last year and Charbonnet came in and had some productive weeks, I think that might have did it to where they're now like a 50-50 timeshare. And that's what worries me about this game. However, the way I think this game's going to play out, I think you're okay with the 3+ receptions because I have a feeling that they will get down and they will have to throw the ball. And Charbonnet had no receptions, no targets last week, whereas Kenneth Walker had 3. But he did get outsnapped or out-touched or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's my worry. Is that the other thing that worries me is with Tennessee's defense, they have a pretty good defensive line, and not that I doubt Kyron Williams or the Rams, I just think the matchup is a little rough.
Yeah.
And who did Tennessee play last week? They played. Let me look at this real quick.
Who did the Titans play last week?
Trying to get to it faster, but I'm not.
Broncos.
Broncos. Well, the Broncos did run the ball pretty decently last week.
J.K.
That's
Dobbins still got the most touches last week.
Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me is that 60 yards. If it were something like maybe 50, definitely 40, absolutely. I'm worried that this could be like a 57 or some stupid shit like that. That's the only thing that worries me is I don't see this being, although the Rams could get up and just run the ball. I could absolutely see them doing that.
I do like the Titans' defense as well, but I will say that both R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins both had over 60+ rushing yards last week, though, against the Titans too. So
yeah, Harvey also busted a 50-yarder.
Yeah.
Which really helped. So I just that's the only thing that worries me is that right there. Not to turn you away from your parlay at all. I love the first two. The second two is where I think you could get caught up. But yeah, Chuck seemed to love it.
I like it. I mean, Kenneth Walker's a good receiving back, I think, and he's gonna have to catch some balls against Pittsburgh today. Because I'm telling you,
that pass rush is gonna probably be pretty brutal, and I think they're gonna be down. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just a little bit hesitant about it. That's all. Not just. I don't think it's like, that parlay is not hitting.
Yeah.
I just trying to point out what I think could worry me and how a game script would go. What's up, War Eagle? My lineup today. Are you in a PPR league? Let us know what kind of league it is, because that'll matter. Quarterback, Nix. Running backs, A-Chain, Swift. Wide receivers, Nico and Neighbors. Tight
Nice.
end, McBride. Flex, Garrett Wilson. Bench is McCarthy, Sutton, Sampson, Kincaid.
Ooh.
So the what I'm caught up this week. I had one of my buddies actually hit me up and ask me about Neighbors this week, and I am on the edge about Neighbors. He's projected to get like, I don't know, 16 to 18 points. But I don't know. With Wilson throwing him the ball, there were a lot of misses last week. And I'm
Yeah.
just not sold on that connection yet.
I kind of
Not that
like the
I
Sutton switch.
Neighbors is a very good receiver.
Oh
It's
yeah.
who's throwing to him who I'm worried about. I like the rest of the lineup. That's my only hang up is Neighbors, which is weird because he's like,
Uh,
it's hard for me to take him out of a lineup because he's
he's so
projected to do
good.
so well. And I'm like, man, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I do like Sutton. I'm huge on Sutton this year.
Yeah, he had a really
It's
good
just
week one too.
I'm at battle with myself on this particular absolute question is Neighbors or not. The rest of the lineup I like.
Yeah.
I like Nico Collins. I think he had a very underwhelming week one, and he's going to do much better week two. I don't even care who they play. Garrett Wilson, I think, is going to be an absolute dog all year. Like he's just going to eat. We saw the week one how well he did against a great defense.
Yeah.
A Chain, we talked about this earlier. Probably the only Miami player I'm taking all year until I can see something different. Swift, you don't have another option there, so it looks like you're taking Swift. Um, JJ McCarthy, I think he had a pretty good week one. So with McCarthy, we haven't talked about this week. This is how I saw. I thought the whole game was going to go how the first half went. I was very convinced, and then he came out in the second half, and he did not look like a rookie. Now I want to know did he just have a good second half, and is he going to stay consistent, or is he going to revert back to the first half? Um, until I see more out of him, I'm probably not going to stick with McCarthy unless I have to. So I like Bo Nix, and also you have Nix to Sutton. I think is huge having a quarterback to wide receiver one because you get essentially double points there.
Yeah.
It is a known fantasy strategy, and it
Mm-hmm.
tends to work good when you have a really good. Like I think Sutton could be a top five wide receiver this year.
Yeah.
If you look at the last half, like week 8 and after of last year, Nix to Sutton was one of like a top five connection fantasy wise.
I think
So
I think a question that's not being presented here as well is how the hell did you get Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, and Sutton all on the same damn team, dude? You're winning
it,
your league.
it's got to be 8 man. It's got to be 8 man. If it's
It's true.
not, like you're absolutely winning your league unless you just have injuries in the championship round. Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's all that's stopping you. Especially like McBride too. I'm huge on McBride. McBride's gonna get a touchdown this week. He's pick 9, 10-man league. Are you kidding me? That's
Really?
wild. That's absolutely wild.
That's
Who
pretty
took
damn
kickers and
crazy.
quarterbacks round one?
Yeah,
Like
for
that's
real.
all I want to know. Who took
Holy
a
shit.
defense round one?
Yeah, you're set,
uh,
man. I like your fantasy situation a lot. Like, not even just for this week, but ongoing for multiple weeks, dude. I like that a lot. You got a nice team, brother.
you gotta be. Oh, you do have Samson though, so you do have a little bit of running back. You gotta have like no other running back depth. There's no way you have more than like just by God. You're deep. You're absolutely stacked.
I wonder
Sorry,
what
go ahead, Trek.
I was gonna say I wonder what like running back you can get like as for like a trade for like one of those receivers too. But I'm with Swag.
Hey, you might want to look
I
at
think
that. That's a good point.
I think Neighbors is risky because of the person that's throwing him the ball, not because of him whatsoever. He's amazing. I think he's a top
Yeah.
10 receiver in the league, if not better than that. He's extremely talented. He just doesn't have anybody to get him the ball. That being said, I think do what you think is right in that situation. I would probably put Sutton in place of Neighbors this week, but then I don't want to be the guy that says that because Neighbors could very well go off for 20-something points this week and 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's like a pick your poison, but in a good way type of thing. I like Sutton a little bit more. I think Neighbors might have a higher ceiling, but I think Sutton overall is the more consistent of those 2 players right now with the better quarterback.
This is one of those situations we talked about earlier where it's that ceiling versus that consistency. And even Sutton has a really high ceiling too.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like you're throwing someone in there who can't put up 30 fantasy points. But yeah, this is one of those ceiling versus consistency things that we talked about earlier. And in your projections, if you're projected to win, I think you just go with Sutton. If you're projected to lose by I don't know, 5 or more,
Yep.
maybe you look at turning towards Neighbors because you just need that
100%, yes.
You just need that possibility of someone getting popping off, and you just happen to pick them at the right time on a where the beginning of the season the projections aren't accurate.
Quick little injury.
That's how I would see it.
Quick little injury update here as well. The actives for today that were questionable. Jawan Jennings, for some reason, is playing. I don't think the Niners should play Jawan Jennings. He was questionable going into week 1, and he had to get an MRI again after this week and everything. I think Jawan Jennings is going to hurt himself to the point where he's going to be out for a while this season.
What's his injury?
What was his injury?
I just know he's been questionable.
He's just been beat up, dude.
Season hasn't even started. What?
It's a left shoulder injury.
Okay, I just remember seeing him. We didn't know week 1, and then we didn't know week 2.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things too. It also says prior to this, Jennings had missed significant time during training camp due to a calf injury as well. So it's been his calf, it's been his shoulder, it's been his everything. It's just, I don't know. I think that's done by the Niners. I think they need to let him sit for 2 weeks and let him actually get healthy because they're already beat up as it is. If they want to be good, they got to do something.
Remember me talking about this, about calf injuries, about rushing them back in professional sports. We've seen what's happened.
Yeah.
You rush back a calf injury and you tear your Achilles. It happens time, and it's a consistent pattern at this point. I've really started to notice that, when you rush someone back from a calf injury that they haven't fully recovered from, there you go.
Yeah. Also, Mason Taylor, tight end for the Jets, is going to play today. This is left tackle, but Trent Williams for the Niners is going to play. So, as a whole, if you have a defense for the Niners, it looks a little bit better. Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants is playing today. And the biggest inactive as far as fantasy standpoints go, I'd say, is Curtis Samuel, which isn't a crazy, nothing wild. But Curtis Samuel's expected not to play for the Bills today. And then also, this has nothing to do with fantasy aspect, but Devon Witherspoon is out for the Seahawks today, so that's big for the Steelers. And for the Browns going against the Ravens, Jaire Alexander is out today. That's big. I didn't think Jaire played really good. I thought he played actually horrible week 1 against the Bills, to be honest with you. But maybe because he was injured. Also, real quick, we got another question that was the same question, same question about Stafford, Penix, and Stroud. I think Swag, you picked Penix, right? You liked that matchup the best. That's a really hard one to pick. I think I'd pick Stafford, but there's a chance of rain. But I do like the Penix thing too, because he does have both of his receivers back today, of London and Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, and that's the thing that he didn't have Mooney last week, and he played really well. 24, 25 fantasy points, something like that.
Yeah.
Penix had a very good week. So War Eagle did mention that they are projected to lose 130 to 149, and even with that, Sutton could pop off for 30 plus.
Yeah.
So I still think I would go with Sutton, and I don't even think you would. At that point, I would think about God, but Nico should have a much better week. Yeah, I think I'm at war with myself on this question. Yeah, not no pun intended with your name. I just like I have neighbors in one of my lineups, and I'm really thinking about taking them out. Um, right. How do I say your name? Rylanch?
I'm gonna skip over that first one real quick for the Colts win today. By the way, Vegas knows it, so I think I think if the Colts beat Denver today, I think we're gonna figure out how good the Colts actually are. I'm
I think
not
they're
gonna
serious
lie.
contenders if they win today. Well, okay. Here's
I'm not gonna
let me
lie.
just
I think.
any.
Sorry, I was gonna say the Colts are +2.5, and I think that needs to be more like +6.5. I don't see them beating Denver. I think Denver is the best team in the AFC.
Uh, I'm. I wouldn't
I'm
say
just
best team
saying.
yet. I need to see more. I am big on Denver. And the only thing, like, if Indy does win today, I'll put them in there as like serious contenders. However, who's at quarterback, Mister Inconsistent, and that's my only thing is he can put
Yeah.
together 3 or 4 solid weeks, and then here he comes, like he's gonna put up a fucking negative week or some shit like that, and
Yep.
and you're just gonna absolutely be frustrated. So that's my thing about Indy right now. And I don't know what to think of them yet because I don't it's week 2 and I don't know if the Dolphins are just dog water or if Indy really is
I
a contender. So
I think
um,
the Dolphins
are are you
are the
are you a Colts
AFC's
fan?
Saints.
Are you a Colts fan?
Is this Pat
Um,
McAfee?
should I start JSN AGB blah, 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 blah.
Jack.
AJB or Zay Flowers? Pick 2 8-man wide receiver heavy team. I'm assuming PPR.
Yeah. Zay Flowers had a great week last week. Just want to point that out. They were playing the Browns. The Browns have a good defense. I still like Zay Flowers though because I think them getting DeAndre Hopkins takes a lot of pressure off of Zay Flowers, and I think that's going to allow Zay Flowers to have a career year this year. I really love that the Ravens got DeAndre for them. I think that's really good for taking alleviating pressure from Zay because they're a
Also,
serious threat now. AJ
also,
Brown.
also,
Oh yeah, yeah, go ahead.
whenever Lamar scrambles, that kind of changes the picture. So like if you have like a lockdown corner or a solid defense or something, you
Hmm.
typically don't go against a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
And when you start to scramble, you really open up the field and extend the play. And you can get like a deep bomb or something that you just typically wouldn't see with other teams. So there's a little bit more in depth when you look at the like offense defensive perspective of that. So because I'm kind of on page with you on Zay Flowers. I even though I think Cleveland's defense is pretty solid. When you throw other factors into there, I think you could have those big home run plays. 20-yard pops here and there just because of Lamar Jackson. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I agree. I definitely start Zay this week for sure. AJ Brown, 100% I'm starting this week. I know they're playing the Chiefs and everything. That's probably going to be a pretty good game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. AJ Brown does not get shut out back to back weeks like that. Same with like Jamar Chase. Like there was the Jamar Chase and AJ Brown last week where they both just got like shut out pretty much and like no points almost. That's not happening again. There's no way that's happening again. Philly's going to find a way to use him. And the other thing about Jackson Smith and Jigba is I don't think he's going to have the week that he did last week. I think Pittsburgh's going to double team him this week. I
I
will
would.
say, I will
I
say
would.
though, JPJ, Joey Porter Jr. is out for the Steelers this week. So that's a big loss and as far as like corners go, but we do still have Darius Slay. We got I think Beanie Bishop, you might see him today. I don't know if they elevated him from the practice squad or not. He did great last year as a rookie. I'm pissed he's even on the practice squad. He should be up on the team. And then also with Slay and Ramsey together back there. I personally kind of fade Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't know. I mean, you think Joey Porter Jr. is a really poor defensive back. If you look at the on numbers, look on paper and stuff like that. Joey Porter Jr. is one of the best DBs in all football last year. He had one of the lowest reception rates as far as any defensive back that was covering any receiver last year in the entire league. I'm huge on Joey Porter Jr. I love him. I think he's a great, and I love him as a Steeler. But for that one, I probably fade JSN.
So I think with who you have, I don't know that I could fade JSN and AJB and then pick Flowers. Although I like all three of these, like it's hard to pick just two of these because, like, I think you're right. There's no way that another dud is thrown up. Like I see that Philly getting the ball like first play of the game, just like a little like immediate throw just to get him going because like he was absolutely nowhere last week, which was crazy. You didn't hear his name at all. And AJ Brown's he's too good. He's not going to throw up another dud like that. JSN popped off last week, and I'm not high on Seattle at all. I don't like Seattle at all. I think they're not going to be a very good team this year. I was actually surprised at the stat line for JSN with a 124. Like, that's crazy. And they didn't throw to anyone else. I do see this game going not as good for Seattle. In fact, I think the spread is not where it should be. I think it should be much higher. And it's hard to fade someone like that when they got so much volume and they were so focused. And I think the game script's going to go where the Seahawks are going to have to throw the ball a lot. I don't think they're going to be able to run it. And because of that, like I can't pick Flowers over those two. It's just hard for me to do that, even though he had a great week as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, look at who they're playing. I think the matchups it's better for the two I mentioned. It's just this is a good problem to have when you have pick two and there's three stacked receivers. So that's how I see it. I would pick JSN and AJB.
Okay.
But I don't think you can go wrong with either of the three. Like I don't think there's a wrong.
I agree.
I mean, like when we look back, like obviously one's gonna not be as good as the other two, right? More than likely. So looking back, like there's probably gonna be a right answer. But I think going into it, like, I mean, a wide receiver one, a wide receiver one, a wide receiver one.
One of the other reasons I'm fading JSN this week, like I agree with you. Like it's like I think you're in a safe situation no matter what. But the only reason I'm fading him too is because Pittsburgh's defense is way better than what they played last week of giving up as many points as what they did.
I agree. And I do agree there.
I think they hammer and double down on this double down, right? Hey, let's go.
DoubleDownSports.
But I think they really double down on us on the defense this week in practice and stuff. And I think Pittsburgh's defense comes out and dominates. This is also Pittsburgh's first home game of the year, and it's beautiful weather. I honestly just expect Pittsburgh to dominate in every single way in this game today. That's coming from a Steelers fan. I try to be as least biased as possible when it comes to like my team and everything like that. I just don't see Seattle doing very good today against Pittsburgh. I think Sam Darnold throws 2 interceptions today or something. Like,
I could that. That's why I'm not big on Seattle. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, that's why I'm not big on Seattle is because Darnold, I think, will just revert back. And they have a good defense. They have a strong defense, but I think their offense is just not going to do very well. And we'll get to the other things stated in chat and other questions. But what I could see happening, with everything said, I could see Seattle throwing an absolute dud where there's just no offense hardly whatsoever. Yeah. Just how if the game script goes, where they get in just a pass situation over and over again, that's not they want to be able to run the ball and spread this defense out to where it's not just a dominant pass rush every down. Yeah. I also could see I don't think this is how the Ravens game will go, but with the point spread and the total, I could see the Ravens going run heavy after a couple of scores. If they get up quick, like 21-0 or 21-3 or something like that, they could just turn to the run, and then Zay Flowers won't have a chance. So those are ways it could go. I don't think it'll go that way though.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's see. Colts win today, by the way. Vegas knows it too. Indiana Jones MVP campaign starts now. Hop on before it's too late. Ward is out for Colts. He would be facing Sutton. I did not know that. That is a good point.
It's a better
Vikings
reason to double down
fan.
Sutton.
What's that?
That's an even better reason to pick Sutton then.
Yeah. Vikings fan, but Daniel Jones grew up as my neighbor. So, wow, that's awesome. That's really cool.
That is pretty sick.
Okay, Joey Porter, Pastor Martin. Okay, Metcalf or Pearsall again?
Okay, so same reaction.
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
I'm 100% picking DK right here for more than one reason, not just because I'm a Steelers fan. One, it's a revenge game for DK Metcalf, I think. Not that there's any bad blood between Seattle and DK, I don't think. But it's kind of a revenge game, I think he's going to pop off against his former team. And also, I'm huge on Ricky Pearsall, right? I'm surprised in picking Metcalf right now over Pearsall because of the
not when
injuries
Mac
that they
Jones
have
is throwing to him.
But Mac Jones is throwing him the football. I have Ricky Pearsall. I still have Pearsall starting in my league or one of my leagues this week, but that's because there's nobody better on the bench. I feel like that could replace him. In that situation, I picked Metcalf 10 times out of 10 just because Mac Jones is throwing Pearsall the ball, and we all know how bad Mac Jones is. That dude sucks.
So yeah, I knew this was going to be your answer. That's why we had the same reaction. Metcalf, absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Mac Jones. He can put up stats, but here's one of your locks for the week. Put it as one of your pick six, one of your prop bets, whatever. He's going to throw an interception or two. I was looking at this last night, and he has last year and the year before, he has over a 50% game rate interception rating. So I think it was I don't know, he played 11 games one season. More than just it has to be more than a 20% play rate. He has more than 50% picks by the game. So if he played 11 games, he has 6 or 7 games where he threw a pick. And some of those are multiple picks. And then the season before that, same thing. So give me a pick for Mac Jones. Lock it in. And like I said, like Shrek said, Pearsall, the setup, but not when Mac Jones is throwing to him.
Yeah.
So definitely take Metcalf. I know 8-man leagues are so dumb. I don't know why I'm in it benching one of those guys. It's crazy. Oh, what were we gonna say, Shrek?
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was say last week, right? There's a lot of big name receivers who didn't do shit in week 1. Jamar Chase is being one of them. DK Metcalf being one of them. AJ Brown being one of them. These are all beasts of receivers. So I think
you're not going to see it happen. You might see one more week out of each of these guys where they throw up a dud like this, but you won't see it more than 1 or 2 times in the season.
Yeah, no, and that's another reason I'm going with Metcalf too. Is just because he didn't really get the ball a whole lot last week. He was still involved in the offense for sure. I actually thought he played pretty well from whenever he did get the ball.
That offense looks good. That offense looks really good. Better than I thought.
If Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, Steelers are going to be legit. They're going to be a threat, that's for sure. Also, to answer this next question, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, or Jared Goff?
Wait, real quick, Trek. Real quick. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We would very much appreciate a follow, and if y'all would activate y'all's notifications, we go live 3 hours before kickoff every Sunday. And we might again. Last year we would also go live on Sunday evenings and Monday evenings, as kind of after most of the games were played, kind of re-talk about everything and all that. We might do that again, but for sure we are going live 3 hours before kickoff every Sunday. All right, Go ahead.
Into the next question: Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, or Jared Goff? I'm fading the shit out of Jared Goff this year just because I don't like their offensive situation and losing their offensive coordinator. I don't even care who the Lions are playing at any point in the week. I'm just not I know Goff like arguably had an MVP season last year. He played amazing last year, but it's not necessarily as much as golf as what it is their offensive coordinator for me and the rest of their offense. They have the talent and they have everybody there for him to do good and perform well. It's just until their offensive coordinator situation can even out, like level out of here a little bit. I don't know what the Lions are gonna do. They're just so unpredictable right now. T Law is always what Trevor Lawrence are we gonna get? He reminds me a lot of Daniel Jones in some aspects, right? Like
Yes,
he could have a
that
really
is
good
a
game.
good comparison.
He could have
Yeah.
a really, really, really good game, but he can also have a really bad game as well. As far as
Like one that
fantasy,
doesn't make sense too.
yeah,
Like where the matchup is great and he's just dog water.
yeah, and like as far as fantasy goes too, it's hard to go and not pick Kyler Murray just because of what he can offer from like a fantasy perspective. He's quick, he's fast, he can run the ball. I think he's gonna do better this season with Harrison, because Harrison was a rookie last year. So I think those two definitely have a really good connection this year. I probably pick Kyler. Kyler's also playing the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are great. Definitely not as bad as what they were last year. I think we all can agree on that. But I don't think the Panthers are a great team. So I probably pick Kyler Murray today. And that he's just a good overall fantasy quarterback when it comes to that too. He's always been a good fantasy quarterback. So Swag's thinking
Yeah.
something else over here.
No.
No?
I pretty much agree with you. So it's not that I'm not big on Goff this year. I just don't like the matchup against the Bears. I think the Bears defense is solid.
That's so, yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a high scoring game. Whereas you look at Jacksonville and Cincinnati, almost a 50-point over under. A lot of offense there. A lot of offense. And then you got Kyler Murray. Which I think this is going to be one of those ceiling versus consistency things. I think since Arizona plays Carolina, you're looking at a pretty solid week from Kyler. Whereas with Trevor Lawrence, I think he can have a higher ceiling here just because of how the game's it's probably going to be a shootout. Even if one team gets down, each side can throw up a lot of yards really quickly, which is good for fantasy football. So I would not go Goff. I would go either Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence. And I think Kyler has the more consistent, like probably going to throw up about 20 points, give or take a little. Whereas Trevor Lawrence, what I could see is he could pop off, or he could come out, they could struggle, they could get down early a lot and just have to throw the ball just an absolute ton. And he might even look bad doing it, but it might be good for fantasy perspective. So I would take one of those two. If you want a higher ceiling, Trevor Lawrence. If you want more consistency, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Need to
I
start.
agree.
Need to start 2 out of DK, Higgins, Waddle, and Igbuka. I don't do Waddle.
No.
We don't know what the hell's going on with Miami. The only person you should be starting for and like I say this, and if someone pops off, I could live with it myself just because how Miami looked week 1. Like not
Yeah.
against who we think is a dominant Indianapolis team. Not yet. Too early to tell. They don't have a track record of being that. So fade Waddle absolutely until proven otherwise. The only Miami player you should be starting is A-Chain. The other 3, I like. I like all 3 of those. What is Tampa? We haven't talked about Tampa at all the whole stream yet.
I was gonna say, outside of we really do appreciate like all the questions and everything, but we do have to get through all the rest of the games before 1:00 starts. So it's 40 minutes till kickoff.
And injury updates.
And injury updates, stuff like that. So we're still going to be answering questions when we can, but we should probably get back on track for the games, if you're down with that, Swag.
Yeah. Let's just answer this super quick,
Yep,
not go into depth, and then we'll get back on track with the games. And then Golden State, we'll come back. After we get through these games, we're going to try to go through them fast, and then we'll get back to the questions.
Yes.
The only thing about Igbuka is he had a really solid week, but he had 2 touchdowns. I don't expect him to have 2 touchdowns every week. Not with the mouths to feed there. I like DK and Higgins out of this.
I, I agree. Like Ibuka's not gonna have a week every single week like he did last week. Like it's great to see him. Like I was big on him like going into the season. A lot of us were. He's definitely a threat. Baker has some damn good targets, dude. Like when you look at it, like imagine like your three receivers are Ibuka, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and you have fucking Kate Otten and Bucky Irving to dip the ball up to whenever you need to. Like they're like good. Like I like the Bucks a lot. I love their offense, dude. So I agree with what you said there. There's a lot to go around there as well. So I like DK Higgins as well.
Okay, let's get through these games and then we'll get to Golden State's question. Golden State, we should be your question here in about 10, 15 minutes, something like that. All right, where do we leave off? We didn't get to talk about Steelers
and Seattle game. Yeah. So we got -3.5. Pittsburgh is favorites to win this game. The game is in Pittsburgh. Obviously,
beautiful weather.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like perfect weather today. It's like 80 degrees and sunny, like partly cloudy. Like it's perfect football weather today. It's actually really nice outside even here. I live kind of close to them. So I have Pittsburgh just. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have Pittsburgh absolutely kicking the shit out of the Seahawks today. Sam Darnold throwing an interception. TJ Watt's getting at least one sack today. Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf, I can both see them getting touchdowns today. I can see us getting out of hand quick. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh just very handily takes Seattle down today. Especially after seeing how good our offense was last week. I'm excited to see the changes that we made on the defensive side of the ball to better ourselves this week against them. So yeah, I think to keep that one short and sweet.
Yep, yeah, I couldn't agree more. With everything you said, the only thing I think the Steelers really need to do is absolutely double team the fuckload out of JSN and don't let him get out of hand, and then they got this wrapped up. I think they're going to smack the shit out of the Seahawks, and I'm not big on them at all this year.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
Next game, we got the Bears at Detroit. Detroit's first home game of the year, I'm pretty sure here. So the Lions are -6 and the Bears are +6. I am staying so far away from this game today as far as bets go. For one, what Lions team are we going to see today? Are we going to get a better offensive Lions today than what we did last week? Because they didn't really look too hot last week, honestly. So, also Bears. Can Caleb Williams get it going? Like, question mark? Big question mark. I like their coach now. You know, it's kind of like this is kind of like a revenge game almost in a sense for like the coaching aspect of it. You know, the offensive coordinator of the Lions last year is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. So might have a few tricks up his sleeve for his former team, but I don't like -6. I don't like +6. I don't like the money line. I don't like shit about this game. I'm personally picking the Lions to win this game because they're at home. But it really could go either way because the Bears have a good defense, and if they can start to figure stuff out on offense, that's really all they're missing from being a complete team. I just don't think Caleb Williams is it. And like even all like back of last year, like Swag and I said that going in the beginning of the season before the first game even happened last season that neither of us were big on Caleb Williams. He's not this insane prodigy that everybody thought he was coming out of college. Like he was talked up way too high.
Generational talent.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
So yeah, I'm with you. I like the Bears defense. The Lions are not the Lions of last year. Maybe overreaction week 2. I think the Lions maybe win this one close, but I'm staying away from any bets on the spread, over under, all that.
Nothing.
Caleb Williams, I think he's gonna run for a lot of yards again. I saw a little. I feel like I saw a little improvement from him. He can definitely make the throws. He's just not consistent, and I don't think he's a number one overall draft pick. I still don't see that. We'll see if this year if he actually grows. Trying to think of what else to add to this. Not really too much. Fantasy wise.
It's
kinda,
just, yeah, right. Whole game just like,
There you go. There's your one word. I don't know what to make of this one. So this will be one I watch just to like see progression of who are the Lions really this year, and can the Bears improve, and can Caleb Williams improve? Because this team will go as far as Caleb Williams can take them.
I 100% agree. That's a great way of saying it. I like the Lions to win though, but we'll go on to the next game here. This is an interesting game. I think this might be an actual really good game to watch. Got the Jags in Cincinnati today. The Jags are plus 3.5. Coming in as the underdog to Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati gets Jamar Chase the ball today. Clearly, they don't do good things unless Jamar Chase gets the ball. That's pretty obvious. I think Burrow has a better game today. It's hard to go against the Bengals. I'm not huge on Jacksonville's defense. They should put Travis Hunter on defense and let him go against Jamar Chase. I want to watch him get cooked by Jamar.
Fuck him up. I like that.
Travis Hunter needs to stick to being a wide receiver. He's a good receiver. I don't think he's going to be good on both sides of the ball in the NFL. That's a lot on your body too. Like the game's bigger, faster, stronger than ever now too. So that's a lot on your body.
Especially over the whole season. I'm with you. I think the Bengals take this. I like from a fantasy perspective. So many players in this game. Even if it gets out of hand, there's just so much offense. I think this is going to actually be over. Like, I think this very well could be a 60-point total game.
Very well could.
I can see both teams scoring in the 30s or upper 20s into the 30s. Not too much to add other than Trevor Lawrence is inconsistent. Can pop off. Can have 30-plus fantasy points. Will he? I don't know. The run game looks way better than I thought. Watch Atine. I don't know. I never know how to say this guy's name. Atine.
Oh, Travis Etienne.
Etienne. Yeah, that's the one. He fell off my radar because I did not think he was going to be good at all this year. And then they traded away what I thought was his someone who could push him for carries, and so now I'm like, holy shit, all right. But I like tight ends from this game. I like receivers. I like both running backs. I like everyone but the defense. But give me the Bengals. I think they walk away 2-0, and for the first time in I don't know how many years, 5 years, they actually start off the season hot. But get the ball to your boy Jamar Chase. Get it to him. 12 plus targets he needs. At least.
And
if not, then Higgins better pop off for 200 yards because I got him. No, but I mean, that's what you got there at the Bengals.
Okay. What is the next game? Sorry, I'm making a parlay. All right, here we go.
Yeah, firefighter. It's also hot here. I'm in Central Texas, so yeah, 100 degrees here.
Damn.
It's hot.
That's too hot right now. It's been
a mild summer.
Yeah.
And it's 100. It's been a mild summer. It really has.
We kind of went straight from the 90s here to just straight to fall. We kind of skipped over the end of summer in Pennsylvania. I feel like. I mean, it's 80 now, so it kind of got back up to near 80 and stuff like that. But in the evening and at night and stuff, it's been getting down to upper 40s and shit, lower 50s. It's been great.
We didn't get up to 105 for I don't know 30 consecutive days or whatever. So that was super nice.
That's nice, yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah. Who we got next?
Next, it's probably the shittiest game of the week. We have the absolutely beat the hell 49ers going against the high school football team and the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler versus Mac Jones. Holy shit, let's go.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible.
Game of the week. Mac Jones for MVP. Let's fucking go.
I think that over under is too high. I don't know if they're gonna get over 40. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting over 40 points in that game.
Watch the first 5 plays. There's a touchdown by each team. Oh man.
Unless Christian McCaffrey gets 3 touchdowns himself and does something insane, I just don't see this being a good game. Damn. If the Saints do win a football game at all this year, this might be their opportunity to do so. I'm still picking the Niners. I think they're just a better team, even with Mac Jones as quarterback. Yeah.
The only way I see
about this game.
The only way I see the over being hit here is because there is quite a bit of special teams or defensive scores or turnovers that are just an easy 10-yard score. for a touchdown because they turn the ball over on the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
I like Christian McCaffrey to eat here if he can stay healthy. That's always the thing, but I think he absolutely just. I think that's their game plan. Get him the ball any way they can and just run it down their throats or screen or. From a fantasy perspective, watch out for Juszczyk. They don't have Kittle.
Yeah.
And he could get like 6 catches and some touches. Like he could be a super sneaky play. Now, do I think you like pick him up and drop him for another play? I don't think so. But watch out, like he's someone who is under the radar, and he could have 2 touchdowns here because they just give him the ball on the goal line type deal.
Yeah.
Very, very sneaky play here. Like this would be my look out. And then
Yeah.
I could see what's his name, running back for the Saints, 41. Kamara. I could see Kamara getting a whole bunch of receptions here by just throws out of the backfield because neither one of these quarterbacks are going to put up a whole bunch of yards. Look for Mac to throw an interception.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's about this. I don't like the receivers of any team on this game. Not how it's set up here. I don't like a lot of the players. Just only McCaffrey, Juszczyk.
Only thing I like about this game is if you wanted to put like a couple bucks in the game or something like that, I might put McCaffrey down as 2+ tutties. That's about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like the 49ers to win this game, I guess. I think they're a better overall team, even with Mac Jones as quarterback. I picked the Niners, but it's not going to be a pretty game, that's for sure. For a flex, I want to start.
Wait. We'll get to the questions after we get through these games.
Okay.
Because we still have Golden State of mind is first on the questions.
True.
We got the 3:00 games to get through, and then Sunday and Monday night, and then we'll get to the questions.
Yeah. This is a game that's really shocking me right now. The spread. It's the Patriots at Miami. Miami's always had New England's card. Even back to like the Brady days, like Miami always gave New England fits when they shouldn't be giving them fits. That being said, I don't think this Miami team is very good. Tua looked like garbage last week. Like Swag and I were both saying, the only fantasy player we like on the Dolphins right now is A-Chain.
Until proven otherwise, like at this point.
Yeah. So the Patriots are actually underdogs. They're +1.5 underdogs in this game, and I like the Patriots to just straight up win this game, let alone cover the spread here. So yeah, I'm just not big on Miami this year at all, and I think I think Drake May is gonna have a good day today.
I think Stephon Diggs is gonna pop off in this game.
Yeah, very well could.
I think Booty is not gonna have that volume every single game going forward. I just don't see it continuing.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't. A-Chain. I think Drake May has a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Like the receivers for the Patriots. Yeah, that's about it for this one.
Yeah, not too much. There's only 27 minutes left, so we're going to get through these pretty quick, like we were saying. We have the Rams at the Titans. Thank you all for all the follows today, by the way, too. Much appreciated. But we got the Rams at the Titans today. This is one of the only games in the slate where there's a possibility of some rain today. Miami's another one of those games, by the way, too, to keep that in mind. There could be a thunderstorm, pop-up shower. It's Miami. There's always a chance of rain in Florida.
But it shouldn't be raining while they're playing because it'll likely be a thunderstorm. So if there is that, it would be postponed or suspended until lightning goes away, and then they'd be back to just a wet surface. That's about it.
Yeah. The Rams at the Titans. I like the Rams to win this game today. I think Cam Ward in his first game, I think he did a pretty good job actually taking care of the football. He didn't make a lot of throws that I thought were risky at all or anything.
Very limited play script.
Yeah, definitely very limited, and I think that's good.
Understanding.
For his first game.
Understanding.
Yeah. I completely get that. I don't think the Titans are that bad, like as compared to like what they were last year. I could definitely see them being like 4, 5, 6 win possibly team this year, but that's about it. I like the Rams to go into the playoffs this year and everything. It's hard to go against Stafford, especially when he has Devontae Adams there. Kyron Williams has been tearing it up like always. I'm picking the Rams in this game. I might even take the Rams -5.5 on this, but I don't know about the spread, but I do like the Rams to cover it if I had to pick here. Not so much else to say about that one, I don't think.
Yeah, give me the Rams by a tutty.
Yeah, I like that. This next game is very interesting as well. I don't like the spread for this game at all. It's the Panthers at the Cardinals. So they're in Arizona today. It's +7 underdogs for the Panthers. What Panthers team are we going to see today? Because they have potential. They're young, and they have a lot of potential. And I think the Panthers are not going to be that bad this year. But the Cardinals is like, what Cardinals team you're going to get? You know, like, is Kyler going to pop off and hit Marvin Harrison Jr. for a couple of deep balls or something like that? Or are they just going to be, like, stagnant, or they're not going to be able to get the ball moving? Trey Benson looked good last week for the Cardinals. I will say that. Was not expecting that. Expecting a lot more of James Conner. But
What's up, Buzz?
thank you for the follow again, W. But yeah, I like the Cardinals to win this game. I would probably, as far as spreads go, I think I like the Panthers to cover the spread here, +7. If I had to pick, I'm staying away from this game as far as bets go. But if I had to pick one, though, I think I'd pick the Cardinals to win, but Panthers to cover.
Yeah, I like the offenses in this game, not the defenses.
Yeah,
I think Arizona wins by how much? I don't know. But I do like a lot of the offensive players on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
Shrek, why don't we do this? Why don't we, just because for the purpose of like viewers and stuff, why don't we answer questions rather than focusing on the games and talking about the rest of the games? Why don't we answer questions, get caught
Okay.
up on that, and if we have enough time, we'll get back to the games.
Okay.
Just because with time running out, I think it'll be better to,
Yeah.
in a
Agreed.
sense, reward our viewers instead of talking about bets and stuff like that.
Yeah. Agreed. We did get through all the 1 o'clock games as well too, so that was good.
Yeah. So first up is Golden State of Mind, T.J. Hawkinson or Harold Fannin. Oh yeah, I like this question. I knew it would pop up. I just don't know. Like, one game is all we have for Fannin,
Yeah.
and they already have a really good tight end. Like, I don't think it stays like this all year. So I don't know about week 2 just going straight out, especially when you have someone like Hawkinson already.
Yeah. Elite tight end.
And JJ, he does play for Vikings, right? Or is he?
What, TJ
No.
Hawkinson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is he Detroit? Okay. He
might
played
be.
for Detroit, right? At one point, and then went to Vikings.
I
Right?
think. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So someone like Hawkinson, who already has, has games played, and we know he can play well. That's who I would go with is Hawkinson.
I 100% go Hawkinson here. He's proven himself the past couple of years that he's a top 5 tight end in the league when he's healthy and he's getting the ball in his hands. I think he's a beast. I think he's underrated in that category, I guess. I'm big on TJ, so I would definitely pick him this week.
There are some mouths to feed there for the Vikings, but they do play the Falcons, who their defense is getting better, but not top of the line. So that's who I would go with. Let's see. Then we got Save Rio TV. TTE. By the way, guys, we're 2 follows away from 100. Holy shit! I
Let's
can't
go.
believe we're already almost at 100 follows. That's wild to me. Yeah, W for sure. All right, for a flex, I want to start MHJ, but Brees Hall is playing Buffalo garbage defense. Who would you start? Is that Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, it's Marvin
Jr.?
Harrison Jr. Shit.
I think this
Okay.
is a good problem. Like, this is one of
is a
those
good
questions.
problem.
Like, I would go with Brees Hall.
Same.
Marvin
So
Harrison Jr. has good games. He has not proven like he
we did
can
it.
consistently be the wide. Oh, let's fucking go! Fuck
Let's
up.
go. Thank you
Let's
guys for the 100
go.
followers. Let's
Yeah,
go.
much appreciated. Let's week 2. Let's go. Um, yeah, I like how the offense looked for the Jets. So give me Brees Hall.
Yeah, he ran all over the Steelers defense last week. Especially
That's
like
a good defense.
look at like the first like couple of games of the game last week. He ran all over Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's a very
Bills
good
got
defensive
ran.
team.
Bills
Yeah.
got ran all over.
Yeah, Derrick
All
Henry
over.
made the Bills' defense their bit here, his bitch.
Yeah, give me Brees Hall for
Yeah,
sure.
Brees all day on that game right there. Let's
And would you
see.
start Sutton over either of the two? Ooh, I
Ooh.
think I would start Sutton over MHJ, but not over
Yeah.
Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall's gonna do really well this game.
Yeah, I like Sutton over Marvin Harrison Jr. here, but definitely keep Brees Hall in your lineup and don't take him out. Don't take
I
him
like
out.
this next. I like this next question. This is also a good problem to have. I
Yeah.
love it when y'all like ask these questions and it's not like the first question of the stream was a 3 quarterback question and all 3 were like I don't know about those choices.
Yeah.
Whereas this one like Fields or Herbert.
Well,
Can we say both?
yeah, for real, dude.
Yeah, like give me
It's
both. Like
it's so hard to go against Justin Herbert because he's an elite like quarterback and he spreads the ball so well and he has Quentin Johnson, McConkey, and Keenan Allen. And he has so many targets and opportunities. But as far as fantasy goes, you got to give me Justin Fields because Justin Fields looked damn good last week, bro. Like
both of
damn
them looked
good last
damn
week.
good. I would
And
say the difference is Fields is rushing.
he's a
Not
running
to say that
quarterback.
Herbert can't run, but when you have that dual threat, like a true dual, like Justin Fields is one of the like actual 2 dual threat. Like he can
Yep.
straight do a quarterback run and be just as deadly as throwing. Whereas like someone like Herbert more scrambles and then scrambles out of the pocket and runs type deal. I think Fields has the higher ceiling. Um, and I only say that because of the how much he tends to run the ball. He can also get hurt.
Yes.
So there's that. You gotta like, oh man, you just gotta hope he doesn't take a huge hit. Um, but I like both. Like Herbert looked like an MVP candidate against the Chiefs. And he has a really good matchup too. But Fields also has a great matchup against Buffalo. So like,
Yep.
I mean, whoever you want to take, do a coin flip. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like both. I mean,
So a coin flip.
I think you might be looking at quarterback 1 and quarterback 2 for this fantasy week
Yeah.
type deal.
Honestly,
Like-
yeah. I guess one thing to think of too is, I mean, it's West Coast time, so it's going to be a Monday night game for the Chargers against the Raiders, and the Jets are playing the Bills. Like you said, you really could just flip a coin on this one. I think you're safe either way. I like Justin Fields because I think they're both safe options, but I think Fields' ceiling is a little bit higher just because he rushes the ball a good bit. And I mean, we all know when Justin Fields has the ball and he gets outside and he takes off. You know, he's 1, fast as hell, hard to keep up with, and 2, he's a tough ass. He's physical, he's strong. I'm huge on Justin Fields this year, dude. After seeing what I saw in Week 1 against the Steelers defense, I think Justin Fields just tears up the league this year. Finally, dude, finally. And like, I love Justin Fields, dude. Like, I feel so bad for him that
he never got the chance. Truly, he
Yeah.
never truly got a chance.
He's been in every shitty situation possible, like even imaginable. I mean, like he goes to the Bears when the Bears were absolutely trash, like
Dog
a garbage
Just dog
team.
water.
And then they try and build a little bit of something around him. It just doesn't work. The ownership of the Bears and him just didn't get like it. Just they got along, but it just didn't work out. Comes to Pittsburgh for a year, wins 4 games as a starter to start up the year as Pittsburgh. Then gets benched for Russell Wilson for doing good, which as a Steelers fan I was pissed about. I wanted Justin.
We talked
Fields
about
to
that
start.
last year.
Yeah. Which made no sense to me whatsoever. And then he finally had this opportunity to shine. He's surrounded by a good offense. He's a great running back. He has great receivers. He's got a good tight end now. Their defense looks like it can be scored on and everything, but I think their defense can definitely keep them in some games this year. I don't know. I feel so bad for him. I hope the Jets have a good year this year. Genuinely, I'm picking Justin
Not to
Fields.
say, not to say week 2 overreaction or anything.
Yeah. Well,
No,
sorry.
but it looks good. It looks good. I'm with you all the way. We've been talking about that all last year, and it'll go into this year even further until like I hope to see him like week 4, week 5 consistently do this. By the way, guys, we are like 16 minutes from kickoff for week 2. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, baby.
Then we got all right,
right.
Odunze or Keenan Allen. Give me Keenan Allen just because of the consistency
Yep.
of that connection. They other than last year, they've been doing it for years. Keenan Allen's healthy right now. Until he gets injured, give me Keenan Allen. Odunze can put up numbers, but Caleb Williams is still inconsistent, and we have
Yeah.
not seen that consistency yet. And I don't like their matchup.
Yeah, I think they're in a hard matchup today as well. But like you said, Keenan Allen's proven to be consistent. Odunze, he relies way too. I mean, obviously, because you're your quarterback, you always rely on your quarterback as a receiver to get you the ball, obviously. But I can't rely on Caleb Williams to get the ball downfield and actually be productive in the sense that Odunze, he will make him productive as well. I'm not big on the Bears at all in any position besides DeAndre Swift. I think he's pretty good. I think he's got a lockdown spot right now. But
Just because there's not
that,
consistency there.
Yeah.
That's why. It's really the consistency is the issue. Not that they can't
Yeah.
put up points or have a good week or two. It's just the consistency isn't there. Is Travion Henderson a good play at flex versus Miami? I like this question.
Yeah.
What you got, Shrek? What you got?
Ooh, you like this question? That's
I do,
against
I do.
Miami. I think Miami can be easily scored on. I also like their matchup this week. They, for some reason, they have the Patriots as underdogs, and I don't think the Patriots should be underdogs in this game. I expect the Patriots to go down to Miami and give them fits and win. Drake May had a good game last week, which is promising for Travion Henderson. To have a good week this week, I think as well. I think he's not a bad flex start, honestly, this week, dude. That's actually kind of like that's almost like a little sneaky move. Like,
As far as a flex goes, I like this. And when you look at the kind of snap count, because you obviously have to look at, he's as a rookie, looking promising, but he has someone who can take some touches from him there.
yeah,
And last week he went. The good thing about Henderson is he can catch the ball. He had 6 receptions for 24 yards last week. So if the game script goes bad, he can be utilized as a receiving back.
and that's why I was gonna say that's why I mentioned Drake May, because he was involved in the passing game heavily last week too, and May's been throwing the ball good. Obviously, it was only week 1, but May looked to be comfortable last week, and especially getting the ball, like dishing passes out to him. I think he's a two-way threat in fantasy football as far as catching the ball and as far as rushing the ball. I mean, he very well could get a receiving touchdown this week as well.
And Stevenson, is a veteran there. However, last year he was super injury prone. I bet you if you see a fumble in this game or the next game or whatever, I don't think Stevenson comes back in the game.
Yeah.
And I think Henderson takes over fully 3-down roll type deal. Maybe he gives up a goal line carry or something. So something like that. But for the most part, like I think as a flex, I think he's a decent flex, especially if you're limited on who you have. So like now you're talking about running back 1, running back 2, like not so much, but a flex, yes. I think he's a good flex. He absolutely could get a score or 2, lots of receptions, and some rushing yards against Miami, who is not. They just gave up a whole bunch of rushing yards to Indy, and got just absolutely dominated. So yeah, he is a good flex for against Miami. There is rain possible, but I don't think that's going to hurt him at all.
Yeah, especially at the running back position, I always felt pretty comfortable keeping my. If anything, knowing there was a possibility of rain going into the game, I always was a little excited for my running backs, considering your running backs might get a little bit more extra touches that game if there is a possibility of rain or if it is raining. So that's my thoughts on that.
We're going to answer
question
these.
is really good.
We're going to answer these next 2 questions, and then we're going to end the stream because I have a couple lineups that I need to do, or at least I'm going to bounce. I don't know if you want to go all the way to noon, Shrek, but I think it'll be a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to answer these last couple questions and get stuff wrapped up here. Agreed. I want to get ready for the Steelers game, get it all turned on. I'm really excited. Let's go. Let's go Steelers, baby.
Mika
Ibuka.
or London at my flex.
Uh, so we were talking about Ibuka earlier. There's a lot of. Okay, so the way to put it, I think, is there's a lot of talent in the receiver position in Tampa Bay right now. He's not always going to be getting 2 touchdowns and stuff like that, like every single game. Yes, he had a really good week 1. Yes, his upside is very high. He looks very promising, and a lot of us were very big on him at like the fantasy football draft, like around that time before the season started. But you got to remember he's not going to catch 2 touchdowns every single week, and Drake London's back and healthy as well. I think it's a win-win. That's a good situation to be in. I personally like Drake London this week over Ibuka, but that very well could go easily like either way. I think you're safe there no matter what.
London had 15 targets last
Yeah.
week. There's like that answers your question. The volume there is just now they didn't have Mooney, but this isn't like that's not something out of the ordinary. He gets a bunch of targets. Did it last year. Nothing new. His quarterback looks really good. I would take London. He just has a higher ceiling and more consistency, whereas Egbuka is not going to have 2 touchdowns every week. There's multiple skill positions there, multiple mouths to feed, and he's not going to get all of them. You got too many, Hall of Famers on that roster that will be Hall of Famers. And you got some young players who are just real. Like there's so much talent on that team. Tight end, multiple receivers, running back. I mean, Baker can run the ball in. So give me London.
Yeah, I agree there. Garrett Wilson over Tyreek Hill,
Yes.
100,000,000,000% yes. Garrett
Yes.
Wilson over
Yes.
Tyreek
Yes.
Hill. Multiple reasons. Tyreek Hill, and he seems to always be involved in some form of legal trouble at this point in his career.
I think I think he's super distracted at this point.
I
Just
do
how
too.
much stuff he has.
He's
Like
got a
and
lot going on off the field.
maybe it's a CTE or what do you call it with the brain injury?
Yeah,
Maybe
CTE,
he's at that
yep.
point. Like
Yeah.
it's to that point where he's just kind of always got something going on. Always.
But yeah,
So,
that was
give me Garrett Wilson.
a very easy Garrett Wilson right there. You think it's
Until
worth
Miami
Go ahead.
until Miami can prove it to me that they can be back on the same page and be an elite offense, like give me out of Miami. A-Chain is the only Miami player I'm taking.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah, I agree with you. It does feel weird benching a healthy Tyreek Hill, but he's just not been the same. Like last year, like I understand, like they had a lot of quarterback trouble there, but even like this year, I don't know, man. It's just he also wants a trade too. That's a big thing. There's talks in trades about him coming to Pittsburgh. But please, God, no, I don't fucking want Tyreek Hill. Get him the fuck out of here. Send him back to Kansas City. I don't want Tyreek Hill. He brings a lot of drama. We already got rid of the drama in Pittsburgh by getting rid of George Pickens. So I'm pretty big for Wilson this year, and I'm also pretty against Tyreek Hill to have a good year this year as a whole. Do you think it's worth keeping Brock Bowers in the starting lineup last game of the week? It's a huge hit. Yeah. I mean, okay, so the Raiders' other tight end, right? Obviously, Brock Bowers is him. I think Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the league. I mean, there's a couple other ones you could say that are in place of him, which I completely get. I just think Brock Bowers is that good. He's not going to have back-to-back weeks, I don't think, where he kind of
He's also injured.
throws up like a fluke week like that. Yeah, but he's playing.
That's the thing. Well, they're saying that they anticipate him playing, but he's missed multiple practices this week and stuff like that. That's the issue.
I thought they said that he was good though.
I mean, they said that they expect him to play, but he's questionable right now.
Okay.
So it's one of those things like if all right, I'm gonna go with Bowers, and you're through all the games. Like, what do? That's kind of what more or less what the question is. Like, well, all right, I'm taking a risk. Do you think he's actually going to play?
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it before, like, with someone like the 49ers where McCaffrey, yeah, he's limited. And then, all of a sudden he's out. It's like one of those situations. Yeah. I think that's the worry here.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gonna play though.
Yeah,
It looks
I was
like
gonna
it.
say I like Bowers this week still because I think he is gonna play, and I don't see him getting out touched by the other tight end that they have there 2 weeks in a row. 'Cause, I mean, Brock's just that good. I think he's really good. I
Even
love watching him play.
even if he's on like a snap count or limited, I still think he's worth. Cause like who else are you gonna play? You know, like
Yeah,
what's your other option? I don't. Your other option probably is projected like 5 to 7 points, and I think Bowers would get more than that even if he's limited.
yeah, agreed. All right, we got 5 minutes till kickoff here. Is Will Shipley playing today? Let's look it up for you real quick.
Yeah, that one I don't know.
He's sitting out for week 2. Will Shipley is going to be out for week 2. It says.
Oh, didn't they trade for a running back? Didn't Philly get a different running back
Yeah,
this
who the
week?
fuck did they get though?
Yeah, Tank. That's right.
Yeah,
They traded Jacksonville.
yeah, because you can tell how much they miss Kenneth Gainwell. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, Gainwell was just like a solid back for them. Like obviously he's no Saquon Barkley or everything, but same with like Baltimore, right? I look at them as a great comparison. They have Derrick Henry, but they also have Justice Hill right there as well. He's a great receiving back, a great back to come in and give like Henry or someone like that a break. Same with like Saquon, dude. Like that's what Kenneth Gainwell was for him. Good receiving back. He was always there, always reliable. Yeah, so I think that was a big pickup for Philly right there. Shipley could be out a couple weeks. Oh shit. Okay. Thank you guys for all the love today. We broke 100 followers, which is awesome. Double Down's been going really good since week 1 started last week. I apologize I was not here for week 1 of football. I sadly had to work.
Yeah, fuck you, Shrek.
It's not happening again. Never ever.
This VOD will be posted on YouTube as long as I don't get any copyright bullshit that's on the back end of it through tracks that you can't even hear. It'll be posted. If not, I'll have to work through that again. It'll just take a little bit of time before I can get. But this will be posted to YouTube.
Yes.
Also,
All
we
right.
would appreciate follows on our socials. That you can find them on our Twitch stream, I believe. I'm pretty sure. But
Yes.
yeah. I'm sorry, guys. That is all the time we have.
I would take Sutton in that, KB. But yes, that is going to be all for us today. Good luck to all of y'all's teams today. Hopefully you guys win a shitload of money. Hopefully everyone's parlays hit. Hopefully everyone has a good fantasy day and everything else in between. We go live 3 hours every single Sunday before kickoff on Sunday. So 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is 9 a.m. Central, and y'all can do the rest of the math. But that's our 2 time zones. So we'll see you guys next Sunday. Have a great weekend. We're looking forward to seeing you all then. And swag.
And most of all,
There we go. All right. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye bye.